Go ahead and get Jiggy up in here. All right, we got 19 people watching. Let me see. Hope y'all can hear me. 1 second. Mm-hmm. 1 second. All right. Yeah. What's up with you, Dave? I see you. Everything is everything. Gullah from South Carolina. Dave B. What's up, bro? What it do, man? Mark Johnson, what's up? Landon Whiteside, what's up with you? Brandon Dennis in the building. I see you, D. Yep, I see you. Mm-hmm. What's up, Morpheus? Boy, Morpheus, your phone was crazy today. You couldn't even come in, yo. It probably wouldn't have went as left, yo, if you was in there, yo. You calmed everybody down, bro. It's crazy. Well, I hope they ain't trying to cancel the NFL season, but if they do, we got young players on our squad. Ravens got young players, yo. That's all good. Give them more study time. Mm-hmm. Wormsy. Did I say that right? Wormsy. Crazy. The Chosen Few Hotel. All right. Too Smooth 71. Late Show. It's the Late Show. It's the show. The show. What's going on? Let me see. Who else we got? Jody Breeze. I like that. Jody Breeze. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real, yo. Mm-hmm. See, we got 23,000 people in the building, man. Must got some big shots on tonight, man. But we're gonna get this crowd pumping up around here. It's essential. It's important. Mm-hmm. Get my notes together so I can go ahead and finish Truth off real fast. He's done. He's a dead man walking, like I said. He's dead. Mm-hmm. On this subject, he's dead. All day. Don't stand a chance. Nope. It's not even close. Not even close. All right. Let me see. Let me find this real quick. It's information together, man, so we can have a good time up here tonight, man. Man, what did I kill that? Yep, just trying to find something. Got something from Garfield too, man. We're gonna talk about Saint Augustus. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Saint Augustus joint. I'm gonna say that for Garfield. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna let Garfield run that one. But strictly deal with Charles Darwin, man. Let me get the joint in there so we can get it started. Let a couple more people coming in, man. I don't want nobody to miss the fireworks. Yep. Not to mention, man, I'm in here, yo. I hope y'all ordered y'all Mossy shirts, man. Spears of the Mossy, man. Y'all see what it is, man. Y'all see what it is, right? Spears of the Mossy. I know y'all see what it is, man. Y'all gotta see what it is. Y'all know how we do around here, man. All day. Get the material, man. That's how we do it, yo. But this is how slick we is with it, yo. We stay sharp. We stay sharp. We stay sharp. We stay sharp. We stay booked up. We stay booked up. I don't know. I don't know why they always try it. I don't know why they always trying to show when it comes to things that we study, put our heart into it. I don't know why, man. I don't know why. I ain't figured it out yet. If it was me, I know when to shut up. Trust me, yo. When I start rocking on something, right, I might spar a little bit. When it start getting deep and heavy, boy, I get up out of there, yo. Yep. When Doc get to clicking and start that doctor stuff, I say stuff. I mean that with ultimate respect. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I gets up out of there, man. Feel me? They get to spitting that knowledge, yo, I get up out of there, yo. Trust me. But we talking about evolution, Charles Darwin, that's my home court, man. That's what I do, man. Matter of fact, that's so much my home court. I wrote a very, very simple book on it. Very simple for you to understand. Questions and answers in it, you know what I'm saying? Give you a little bit of real black atheism, yo. But right now, we proud of this, though. See, this is where we at. Each one teach one, man. That's how we do it. Spears of the Mossy, man. I see you, Zane. What's up, Zane? Black African Power. Yep. Yeah, we right here with this. It's all day. Spears of the Mossy. All day long, y'all. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got my copies. Yeah. You're on the shelves, Black Dot Bookstore, Cultural Center. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is where we at. This is how we doing around here, man. If y'all ain't got that, man, y'all need to order this. Yep. What? Unc be mad at the people he created to function on the platform. It's a trip, yo. Hey, Eric, you're a trip. I don't be mad at the people at all, yo. I ain't mad at nobody. All right. For today's lesson, we're going to be going into this. You should get it. 400 pages of fire. 500 pages of fire. Darwin's Sacred Cause. Okay. Race, slavery, and the quest for human origins. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're also going to throw this in today's lesson because this is what I learned about Charles Darwin at. Africa, mother of Western civilization. We sure are. Right? Yes, we is. National Geographic. The earliest child, 3.3 million years ago. Year-old bones discovered. Yep. Can't handle the picture. Look the other way. Look the other way. If you can't handle the picture. Just an artist's depiction. Here you go. Killmonger's Corner. Killmonger's Corner. The Conscious Community Pan-African Journal. Yep. Yep. Yeah, y'all see that logo down there, right? Massive. See that? Y'all see that logo right there, right? Man. Kosi Pasai Research Team. Man, y'all just knocked the daggone thing out the thing. God damn it. Yeah, so we had some fun, man. I'm on some laid back chill. Yeah, get all my notes together. All right. There were some very specific questions that Truth Historian wanted to know. Right? Yeah, it was. I gotta how do I unblock somebody? I ain't even blocked. I don't know how to get unblocked. Hold on, I'm gonna try to go on here real quick, y'all, and actually get. I think I gotta go to the channel. I think I gotta go to the community, right? And I think after I do that, need to be able to unblock somebody, yo. Try to get Meek up in here. I know she's like, yo, is unblocked? YouTube Studio. But let's just go ahead. Shout out to Smash Rockwell's and his new album. Big Head Scientist. Big Head Science. Okay. I don't know, Meek. I don't know how to unblock you. I know you ain't in there yet, but I've been wanting to unblock you. Killing you with that one. You have to create a new profile messing with me. I ain't figured it out. Comments, subtitles, monetization, nope. Nope. So I ain't beating up people for commercials. See what I'm saying? Beating them up because I can. So I just think there's some things y'all just need to know about me, man. I'm a step up type of dude. I like to step up. I accept the challenge. That's what it is, right? So yeah, stuff. If y'all wasn't, go back and look at the video that was on Garfield channel the last 2 days. You'll see how I got here in this place right here. to even have to talk about Charles Darwin, but it's really a good thing for us to get back into talking about evolution, right? Evolution actually falls into it'll show itself in the vaccine science, right? Even when people are arguing whether the virus was created, you know what I'm saying, brother Nahisi. Shout out to brother Nahisi, man. Appreciate you, bro. All day long, yo, for your unwavering support, man, for your contribution to the community, man. I'm Raw Squad and the Moxie Clan Warriors. Appreciate you. Same thing with Sean. Shout out goes to Sean, man. Appreciate you for your unwavering support, man. Yep. And ask for nothing in return. Appreciate that. Well, you already know it, Kofi. Appreciate that support, bro. Unwavering. All right? Unwavering. Shout out to the pseudo killers, man. Appreciate Vance. Politically incorrect. Well, you changed that podcast. Ken. Clark Kent. Appreciate you, bro. Sheffrin L. Man, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the conversations, man. Appreciate that. CK. What's up? Appreciate that. Pseudo killer. My main man, Concrete Corey. Appreciate y'all, man. I really appreciate the pseudo killers, man. They filling that void. You know what I'm saying? They stepping up. You know what I'm saying? While the Amara Squad is doing different projects, man. You got the pseudo killers, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing. Man, make sure y'all support Asar Hotep, man. Got a lot of good shows. Make sure you support Dr. Oya Mayat's channel, man. She has a lot. Just type in Dr. Mayat. Then type in Dr. Asar Hotep. Man, they got shows with the scholars, man, with the doctors. Support their channels, man. Appreciate them. Support the Masi, you know what I'm saying? Support them. Appreciate that. All day long. All day long. Let me let a few more people come in before I start throwing these fireworks. Yep. You see if I can find. Great, start this thing off, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time tonight, man. I'm gonna throw that link out there for people that want to kind of dive on in. We can dive on in, man. Hear what y'all gotta say, man. We won't be cutting anybody off. We're not doing them type of shows no more. That's not, it's not really helpful to people trying to learn. We got people starting to really tune in now, so we need to dial back on it, man. Especially when we talk about matters of science, man. It's very complicated, man. It's not, it's not the person say 5 words, you cut them off. Person getting 2 more words, you cut them off. Like that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not conducive to learning. It's just not, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's just not a good environment to learn. With the religion, you can play back and forth, crack jokes, then pick right back up where you at, go talk crazy about the Bible, argue, talk with each other, and people can kind of follow it. But when you're actually dealing with science, man, this is, I mean, seriously, when you're trying to make a distinction between 375 million year fossil, right, and Homo sapiens sapiens to go back to 190,000 in the Rift Valley, you know what I'm saying, Omo Valley, right, 190,000, and then Morocco, 300,000. They're still trying to really, really figure that out, right? And then when you talk about A00, archaic humans, you can't be cutting people off. You know what I'm saying? It can't be that. All right, it has to be a conversation of intelligence. And so I want to start crafting intelligent conversations, man, right? Because this is what other communities do. You know what I'm saying? We might have a segment we howl and scream and act crazy, but it can't be the whole show and it can't be half the show. It's just the craziest thing ever, man. Everybody trying to get their point. Everybody knows something. Nah, man. First of all, everybody doesn't know everything, but there's certain individuals that study certain areas, man, that when they speaking, man, you just got to chill for a minute to hear their point. And I don't mean the people to just kind of like drag on the same points and talk you deaf. I ain't talking about that. I'm saying when you're trying to bring home a strong point that can be backed, that's backed by scientific evidence, man, we got to be able to get that off. Got to, right? And for the classes I teach, right, and for the videos I do, it requires you to read. It absolutely does. Like it's impossible for you to formulate good questions. If you're serious about the study, you have to read certain literature, man. You can just read Wikipedia articles will put you all the way in the game. Hold on. And that's the truth though. So at least do that. So if I'm talking about Charles Darwin's book, read the Wikipedia article on Charles Darwin's book. You'll see what mistakes he made or what he might have came off crazy a little bit. You can see all of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not gonna just be we gonna argue and ain't read nothing. We're gonna take 2, 3 sentences out of a whole scientific treatise and understand what a person is. Like, nah, we ain't doing nah, man. Nah. No, that's not what the study is, man. The study is thorough. The study is serious. You know what I'm saying? I've been studying this subject for at least 20 years, hard body for about 15 years, right? And the subject matter is changing every day. So I'm just not doing it. I refuse, right? You know, we had a conversation today earlier about telelect fish. Probably saying that wrong. I'm going to show you a slide, too, on that. Man, that ain't what I'm doing. That ain't what I'm doing. So we're going to do all that. All right. So we can really understand we got a lot of new people coming around, they sniffing. They want to know. Okay. For the older people, I'm saying it's been found in scientific study. You know what I'm saying? Then help the people out in the chat room, in the peanut gallery, quote unquote. All these things we do are valuable. Right? Because what? We're combating the pseudoscience. That's why I was a little disappointed in truth. Real disappointed in him on that. He like one of your homeboys that just played too damn much. You know what I'm saying? You deal with him all the way. You appreciate what he brings to the group. But he just played too much. Don't know when to stop playing, man. That's what I feel like too, dude. Just play too much, man. Everything ain't funny, man. Seriously. Because you know when you got your homies to do that sometime, man, you know if you feed into it, y'all gonna get into something. Y'all gonna end up slap boxing, getting off your chest, have y'all do it. You know what I'm saying? Then be back to kick it tomorrow. So you got to know how to understand that. So I think now I kind of understand truth. So when truth come on the show, any show I'm on, I'm gonna tone my thing all the way down. I'm be quiet, yo. I'm gonna chill. Because that creates an environment, yo, that's not conducive. He know how to get underneath my skin. The only reason he can get off underneath my skin, because I feel like he's my equal when it comes to teaching information. I truly do. So I just really, really want to start off and say, man, I probably said some crazy things today, right? I called him a faggot. I ain't mean that. I was just mad because he started talking too much craziness. Start throwing the shots first. You know, like we say, when you're in an intellectual gunfight and the person start throwing their gun, that means they ran out of bullets. So at that point, I should realize, yo, that the mercy rule should have been in effect. And he started throwing his gun. You know what I mean? He ran out of intellectual bullets. So what else could he say but that? Couldn't have meant everything he was saying. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, me and Truth good, but I'm gonna tag him up though. I'm gonna definitely tag. Definitely got it coming, man. Cause see, I respect the brand that he represents, NBK. Respect the brand. I respect Daryl, the star NBK. That's my man. But more so, Truth is his #1 man. So if Daryl got to pick, he gonna always pick Truth. He's supposed to. That's how I go. So yeah, man, I respect Sister Kaba, man. She NBK all day. Come on, man. CK NBK. Right? So it can't never be a beef. It really can't. You know what I'm saying? We said some things, and that's just between Truth and me. That ain't got nothing to do with the brands we represent. We both got out of pocket. I felt like he did a little bit too much after he was beat down. He should have hit the tap out. And he didn't want to tap out. So his tap out was just getting underneath my skin a little bit more. Yesterday, I learned a valuable lesson from him. Never argue with a person who is not understood in said subject, who is not studied in said subject. It just don't make no sense. Like I'm bananas with that. I was wrong for that. So I learned that. The day I was a little more calculating. Yep. Let me find this to start this out. But yeah, I want to let y'all know it ain't no beef on that. Not at all, man. Yep. I don't know what he meant out of his mouth, but I know I didn't mean to call him that name because he's not that. And I know the brothers over there wouldn't hang with a person like that. So now I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't even got that mad. That was out of control, right? And I'm too old for that. So I apologize to the listening audience for that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't even gonna go. I ain't go that route. But I'm gonna beat him up though. He gets beat up. He gets beat up for being ignorant on the subject matter. Yep. Gotta get that. If I can find this little thing right here. Got to get that. Gotta get that. Because he forgot who I was. I mean, he ain't gonna do that. Just like I'm not gonna forget who he is. We start talking about early American history, black people, they did, dude. I'm not arguing with that dude on that, man. It's a great teacher when it comes to that. A great teacher. So, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't even argue with him if he wasn't on the level. But he definitely wasn't on the level with the conversation. No, he was not. And I'm gonna show you why he wasn't. Made that crucial mistake. Man, what am I doing here? That's not it. That's not it. Man. So yeah, we're gonna definitely get this thing started. Right, man. Let me get this up here. Let me get this going, man. Go ahead and get into this. All right. Let me see what we got. Let me see. Real quick here. We'll get into that, man. So I appreciate everybody that came out on this Friday, man. Y'all could be in the club, shaking and dancing. Y'all could be in the bar. There's a lot of things y'all could be doing, man. But y'all decided to come on through to the Real Black Atheist, man. So I appreciate that. Got 82,000 in the building. All right. All right. So yeah, man, new back knowledge all day long, man. All right. Yeah. All day long, man. Anusha, I see you, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate that. Black Line Supreme. What's good, bro? I ain't get that number from Garfield yet, man. But I'm gonna send that link out. We're gonna talk. All right. Let me pull up my source real quick, and I'm gonna start hammering out truth. I'm gonna finish him off. He already knocked out. Now I'm gonna step on him some more. Because he earned that. He earned that. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? He overread that situation. All right. Definitely overread that situation. My fault. He misread that situation. Everybody know, don't argue with Uncle about no evolution. Don't do it. That's what I love to do. I love to talk evolution. Don Lane responded to this line. I ain't read all that. Let me see. Let me see something. Give me 1 second, y'all. So kind of Darwin starts off right here, right? Let's see. Right here, he talks about the arguments recently advanced by the Duke of what is this? Argyll, right? And formerly by Archbishop Whately, in favor of the belief that man came into the world as a civilized being and that all savages have since undergone degradation, seem to me weak in comparison with those advanced on the other side. Okay, many nations, no doubt, have fallen away from civilizations, and some may have lapsed into utter barbarism. Okay, thought on this latter head I have met with no evidence. Read it again. The arguments recently advanced. Now, this is coming from the Descent of Man. Okay? Because Darwin writes his responses in the book. It's a scientific treatise. It wasn't even written, you know what I'm saying, for the regular public, for the language. All right? So you be reading sometimes saying, damn, what did he say? So at no point, let me do this, though. Hold on. At no point do you take a line out of a daggone book that Charles Darwin wrote and characterize that's him. That's not scholarly at all. That's not how the game is really played. All right, let me just do this real quick. Yeah, the game is not played that way. I'm saying that ain't how the families get down. We ain't getting down like that. Hey man, Black African Power family, man. Hey, what's good? What's happening? Well organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Whoa, whoa, wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killer in the house. Come to do what I got to do, and I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm standing tall, standing strong. Hey, Mossy Clan Warriors on deck. What's good, family, man? Look, man, we're going to have a powerful show today, man. Appreciate everybody coming. Hey, man, I see you, Shesmu Batar, man. You my man, yo. You already know what it is, bro. Appreciate your support, bro, from the beginning to the end, man. And you know what I'm talking about, man. Appreciate you, bro. It's all good in this building, man. You put your money where your mouth is, bro. All right. Appreciate you. Just to let you know that, man. I don't say that too much. Well, I see you in there. I'm biased. I see you. I see you. What's up? Metro customer. Tongue even. I see you. Okay. Families get in that building, man. Let me go to the source real quick. I think I didn't want to read that long thing. That was a little bit too long. No. Let me go ahead. Let me. I want to come here for a minute. All right. Okay. So let's deal with these 6 points. Let's see. We got one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 points here. We want to talk about Darwin's view on race. Right? And if you follow the conversation, Brother Garfield, the Dagger Squad, you know we got into a conversation, right? And so what I would like to do is, give me a sec. I'm gonna have to so this is the conversation was on page 113 of the Descent of Man, right? I'm gonna put that in the chat room for y'all, okay? So we can see what mistake Brother Danny actually did. All right. Yeah, he kind of killed himself with that. And so what we like to do around here is we when we're reading serious work, we don't want to take 2 to 3 sentences, right, and make that your whole understanding of the scientific literature that you read. You just would not do that. Even if you was reading a biblical text or something like that, you would not take a scripture and let that define the whole book or the whole person that's talking. So if you talk about Matthew, you make a statement here, you can't take it and make it the whole daggone thing. Like that's not smart. So Truth did that, right? He did that. He didn't add context to it. Okay, so I'm gonna add some context to everything. All right, so let me. Oh yeah, 1 second. Yeah, free it. 1 second. Man. 1 second, y'all. All right. So, okay, y'all. So we right here in the Descent of Man, page 113. All right. Now, I promise you, I want to put that in the chat so y'all can have it. Let me go to YouTube real quick and do this so I can put this in here for y'all, put that source in there for y'all. All right, I'm gonna put it in there because y'all can actually just for your own thing. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Can y'all see that right there? Nah. Y'all might. Peace. I see you. Shaz, what's up? I don't know if y'all can see that. Shoot. Yeah, I want y'all to get that. Hold on. All right. I'm gonna do like that. All right, here I'm gonna copy and paste this right here. All right, I'm gonna put it in there, man. So okay, we can go from here, and y'all can just put it in here, right? And y'all can look at it. So here you go, right here. There you go. There you have it, right there, yo. No, that's not that. Yeah, that's not even the link for the. Let me see, y'all. Could y'all see the other one I put in there? No, I don't think y'all can see that one. Man, I had to figure out a way to get that. Can't do it that way. 1 second, y'all. Copy this link and I'm gonna. All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna do it. All right. Got you. All right, I'm gonna take it off this email right here and put the source in there for y'all, man. All right, here we go. So we can get cooking. We got the grease cooking right now. All right, here y'all go. There you have it. All right. There you have it right there. So that's the Descent of Man. All right. So we come to page 113. Okay. And this is where truth went wrong at. All the way left with it, right? Okay. We're on page 113. It's come down to it wasn't even a quote. It was actually a couple sentences that Darwin wrote. But if you read page when y'all on y'all time, read page 14, right? Actually read the whole chapter, read page 14, read page 112, then read page 113, and then read page 114, right? You can get complete context, right? Because on page 13, it starts off with, there is, however, no doubt that the various races, when carefully compared and measured, differ much from each other, right? And as in the texture of their hair, right? The relative proportions of all parts of the body, right? And then it gives you a citation. A vast number of measurements of whites and blacks and Indians are given in the investigation in the, what's this, military and anthropological statistics of American soldiers. And he gives you a book by B.A. Gold, 1869, right? Page 100, 1869, right? Then it goes on page 298 to 353 on the capacity of the lungs, page 471. Also see the numerous and valuable tables of Dr. Winsbach. So Darwin is basically actually giving you the anthropologist of his day, right? He's giving you a synopsis of what they're talking about. Now, remember, this book actually goes against the conventional wisdom of the day, and it absolutely shows and proves that the basis that they was practicing scientific racism was really junk science, or what we call pseudoscience. Okay, this is what Darwin was doing. So he's laying out everybody's argument, not on this particular page, but he's mentioning what other anthropologists are saying. Right, goes on to say, Wimborne, an observation of Dr. Schneiser, and Schultz, Dr. Schultz, right, in the Rise de Nouveau Anthropological Log. It goes on to say the capacity, right, of the lungs, the form and capacity of the skull, and even in the convolutions of the brain. Okay. Now it says, see, for instance, Mr. Marshall's account of the brain of the Bush woman in the philological transitions. Okay, that's the name of the book. Page 1864. Okay, my fault. On page 519, it say, but it would be an endless task to specify the numerous points of difference. Okay, the races differ also in constitution, in the assimilations, and in liability to certain diseases. Okay, then he goes on to say their mental characteristics. This is what, out of all I just read, Truth gets this sentence right here. It goes on to say the mental characteristics are likewise very distinct, right? Chiefly as it would appear in their emotional, but particularly in their intellectual faculties. Right there, he takes that one sentence right there and says, see, Darwin is saying that the white race is better than the black race. Well, if you read up here, it's not even mentioning the white race yet. It's talking about different things. It's simply saying that in these particular tribes they was finding, they seen that there was different variations, right, in the way they felt like they was thinking. Now, mind you, now this is at the early, this is the very early stages of trying to figure out was it a race or not. The question wasn't answered yet, y'all. I'm saying, so Darwin, he's an observer, he's a scientist, he's looking, he's asking questions, he's trying to make points. You know what I'm saying? How would I classify him a racist from that sentence right there? I wouldn't. Let me read the sentence again. Because he wasn't even comparing the Europeans to it. He wasn't even talking at that point about that. Read up, he was simply talking about, he mentioned a couple tribes in North America and all that, right? But he was simply trying to make a statement, right, within a couple statements that other anthropologists made. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, we at the beginning of his daggone work. Once you get into his work, you can start seeing what his conclusion ended up being. Remember, you had people that thought it was 13 races. Some said 10 races. Some said 5 races. Some said 6, right? Some said 3. Y'all remember the 3. Mongoloid, Caucasoid, you know what I'm saying? And Negroid, Mongoloid, Caucasoid. Remember that? course y'all heard of that. Charles Darwin went against all of that, y'all. Right? So then the question is, if a man that went against the fact that they were racist, right? Because once you say there's racist, then you can look at the people and say, well, since you do not have guns and you got spears, then we're actually more intelligent than you. You could say that, right? If it's more than one race. And since we're winning, right, with Christianity, you don't know God, you know what I'm saying? We're definitely smarter than you. That's like saying if you go to another man's land, right? And he has another deity that he's worshiping, say it's the river, you'll say, well, you're definitely stupid because you're praying to the river. Well, wait a minute. Their concept, they have agency. We always talk about African agency, right? So human beings should be allowed to have agency over what they think their God is or what they think their God is not. That's why the Christians are very arrogant, okay? Because they say, right, that they have the God, right? And they make the God up based off of their experiences, based off of their mental thinking, because remember, gods are created by human beings. It's a human thing. And everywhere you go, you'll find some different people trying to wade in on the conversation. Some just say they don't even deal with God. They'll just say their ancestors, right? But it's their agency that's important here, that they do have the right to say that. A Christian can't come along, a Muslim, a Jew, a person that practices Persian religion. You can't come and say they're wrong because it's an all human idea. It's that simple. And it's so simple, right? That most religious people don't even get it. So you can be in Africa, right, and say happy, right? And birds and them will say they were saying the God happy, the nature happy. Right? And you'll see the picture of Hoppy and you'll see breasts of a female, you know what I'm saying, on a man's body, and they'll be confused and say, that's just that. No, it's an hermaphrodite, a male or female. It's saying this river is male and female. It gives life, right? Those people in that area, without the river, they would actually die. They actually fought wars over those key areas in the Nile to get that positioning on the Nile, right? When the tilt wobble of the earth and the monsoon rains left. Okay, that's what happens. The earth, it has a tilt wobble, right? And every 15,000 years, right, the deserts retreat and come back. 15,000 year period where the deserts leave, right? Because the water is left. When the water come back 15,000 years later, then the water's the desert and it's teeming with life. So every time the desert comes, the people suck up to the Nile, right? When the desert leave, they go back out in the Sahara. Well, the Sahara means desert, but that's what they're designated as. They go back to that area. And guess what, y'all? Every time they leave and come back, some people just don't leave, right? They fight wars. So that myth about the Africans wasn't fighting, that's a bunch of crap, right? Oh, we fighting over money, man. They fought, to them, the resources was their money. It allowed them to secure food, clothing, and shelter, right? And they protected that. So that leaves that out. I say all that to say is that these men and women around the world have agency. Who am I to tell them? I just practice science. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care to take away a person's God. I'm just saying I can't allow the Christians, Muslims, and Jews, monotheists, to tell them that they're right about it. Like, what's the difference? You have one God or two God. What's the difference? If you're a monotheist, you one God away from where I'm at. So, right. So Truth did the unthinkable. He took a sentence, right, on page 113 and characterized a man's character and who he was. That's crazy to me. Like, nobody does that. Okay. And I sure as hell didn't expect him to do that. No, let me get my cord on here. That's what I'm tripping off of, right? That's the point. Right, wrong, or different. You can't take one sentence, right, and tell me that a man is this and a man is that. Plain and simple. Like, no, that's not what we're doing around here. At least I don't want to be in conversations where people are allowed to take a sentence or two and characterize everything. That's crazy, right? And then refuse to read the book. Okay? So I made a statement. I said, if you understand natural selection, what Charles Darwin was working on, then you understand a racist, right, would not come up with that. My fault. You would understand that he couldn't have been a racist using that tool, because what exactly did that tool do? What did natural selection do? What it did was it overturned the wisdom of that day, which was steeped in pseudoscience or junk science. Those ideas that there were races, right, was a social construct created by racist people. And they made themselves better based off of the color of their skin. Darwin's theory of natural selection, or theory of evolution by way of natural selection, right, and sexual selection, overturned that. Why was that important? Because that's what they were using, right, as a crutch to why they could kidnap you and enslave you. So Darwin's work at this stage in history in 1857 is when he quote unquote published the Origin of the Species, right? And then after that, he published this particular work. All right. So this work is important in the stage of history for Black people, you know what I'm saying? White people, and everybody around the world. Because now white people couldn't say they were superior and they was this glorified race. Now the Hebrews couldn't say they was God chosen people. We this. No, you're not that. You're all part of the human family. That's a tough, like Concrete Corey say, man, that's a tough pill to swallow for a lot of y'all, man. Because we've always been told we're the greatest of all time. Yeah. Yeah, y'all, we the greatest, we this, we that. We floated across the Sahara. Yeah, oh man. You know, white people come from monkeys and we don't. We come from somewhere else. Yeah, that's the malarkey we've been told here. But Darwin's theory checked everybody. And for all my family, right, that claim to be African-centered and love, you know what I'm saying, and love, quote unquote, Africa, right? And I'll hear those people say, I love Africa, right? Africans come from Africa. You know what I'm saying? And then I say, well, let's talk about how do you prove that? Huh? Yeah, how do you prove that? You prove that by studying biological human evolution. You prove that by studying Darwin's work, his treatise on the subject. Because his treaty, you know what I'm saying, speaks on that. And it overthrows the racist opinion. So now I am to believe that a person that one, his wife was an abolitionist. His father was an abolitionist. His grandfather then was. They actually started the daggone the movement that, you know what I'm saying? They actually had the what I want to say, the organization. You know what I'm saying? Remember, Darwin was going to be a surgeon, right? Remember that. But he couldn't stand the sight of blood, right? When he went to England, right, he meets up with who? John Edmondson. I should probably put a picture. I should probably put that up for y'all. Get this right. Y'all can just do the simple joint. Let me see. Real quick. Yeah. Hold on. That it? The source for y'all. Edinburgh University. One sec. Yeah, so how great was this man, yo? My fault, Edmund Stone, John Edmund Stone. I said Edmund son. I won't get this, I won't get everything right these days. Can't let my enemies get me. They fight and they get me. I swear to goodness, yo. I don't even know how we end up in a crazy dispute. How do we do it? All right. So yeah, we really can't do it, man. Yeah, because to do it, it just makes no sense. Yeah, it really makes no sense. It's a crazy conversation. I don't want to use that. They gave a picture of him too. Nah. So remember, John Edmund Stone, right? Actually, remember I said Darwin wanted to be a surgeon, right? Here's a artist rendering of him. Give you an artist rendering of him. All right. And for real quick, we'll kind of talk about this man, right? That taught the racist Charles Darwin so much that he decided to change his career plan, right? That his father didn't want to go. Remember, his grandfather was they call him an evolutionary. He was dealing with evolution, trying to figure it out. And remember, Evan Stone, Charles Darwin, his career path was to be a surgeon, y'all. Right? Plain and simple, a surgeon. So now I am led to believe that a person that was going into the field of surgery has takes this class, right? You go, John Edmund Stone. Oh man, get all this off, man. Right here, to your left is probably to your right, right? It says many people know in 1825, a 16-year-old Charles Darwin came to Edinburgh University to study medicine and to learn skills that would lead him to an incredible discovery and theories later in life. However, few people know that one of Darwin's teachers was in Edinburgh was John Edmund Stone, a free slave from the plantation in New Guinea. It say Darwin paid John to give him lessons about taxonomy as well as the flora, right, and fauna of South America to help him prepare for his voyage, right, to the south on the H.M. Beagle. Darwin used the techniques he had learned from John Edmund Stone to preserve the finches he caught on a groundbreaking expedition, which in turn led him to develop his earth-shattering theory of evolution. Okay, so being able to preserve those finches was very essential in what Charles Darwin was doing. Very essential in that. All right, bringing those samples back was vital. But what John Edmund Stone had also talked about was the diversity that he had seen in the Amazon forest. Remember, he was in South America, right? And he talked about this diversity of the different animals. And Charles Darwin was very interested in that, right? So when Charles Darwin embarked on that expedition, the Beagle, you know what I'm saying, he recognized that he wasn't going to be a surgeon. What he wanted to do was he wanted to figure out why. Why was it so diversified in the Amazon? Can I find this type of diversity when I go to these different places? Why? So he set out to answer that question, why? Right? So I'm led to believe that a racist would actually get talked out of a career that was pre-planned for him by his father. We talking these people like you gotta go to school. This ain't like we be playing. Man, this is what we got this money set aside and you're going to school. Remember, they was well off. This is what you do for the family. He changed all of that after having taken John Edmund's class. What black man changes changes a person that's supposed to be a racist, right, into creating an understanding and giving the world a theory, you know what I'm saying, that would literally change how the world seen the people that the racists hate. Who really amongst us believe that? That's a whole lot. Think about that for a moment. That's a whole lot to actually sit in the class and that teacher change your whole career. And then the theory you work on actually overturned the modern thought of that time. So the book is a treatise on the conversation of if is there racist, you know what I'm saying, or not. That's what the conversation was. Was black people just as human as white people? This is what the book talks about, man. This is what the book absolutely proves. So if you understand evolution, right, by way of natural selection, then you understand, right, that Charles Darwin was actually backing his family. His family was abolitionists, right? I'm gonna read sections of different writings where they tell you that Charles Darwin was actually handing out that type of literature. But his work, right, on the said subject was to be in science. I heard Concrete Corey say, well, Martin Luther King talks about I have a dream and how we want to be free and how we equals every man. And Malcolm X fought and did all that. Honorable Elijah Muhammad did all that. But they didn't prove it through science, though. They was just talking. Sound good. We come from Africa. But it's the science that proves you come from Africa. Sound good that we all equal, because you remember the white people that day saying, well, we got guns, we got those intercontinental ships, right? We can blow your daggone island up. We can bombard you. You definitely can't be smart as us. Just being human, right? Walking around, being superior like that, and technology would lead you to believe that you had some type of special favor. Would lead you to believe I'm definitely smarter than those people I just seen without clothes on. How many of y'all listen to the show right now? Right? If you was to actually go to an island and run across a tribe that y'all ain't never seen a tribe, right? And the tribe ain't never seen you. Right? They walking around, you know what I'm saying, half clothed up with leaves around them. You know what I'm saying? They don't wear cologne, right? They don't have on deodorant that you wear. Their whole thing is totally different. They don't have toilet paper. They got none of these things. How many of y'all gonna tell me, right, that you wouldn't look at them and say, man, what the hell did they miss? You would say that. You'd be like, man, they spitting poison darts at you. That might get you, but we're gonna shoot them all up. One person can get them with a machine gun. We're definitely smarter than them. You would need to think that. So it's kind of hard, right, to not people who, when they first seen these people, to them, that's what they thought. They ran across different tribes, right, that was eating each other, right? That's in the history. You know what I'm saying? They ran across tribes that just wasn't where they was. So they looked at them as being primitive. And so that word that Charles Darwin used as savage, right? He was talking about for the primitive races. Remember, think about the time we talked about. 1800s, you know what I'm saying? They had already underdeveloped. Africa was in full force being undeveloped since the 1600s. At war, slavery, so they wasn't even keeping on par, right? It wasn't. It's impossible to do that. They're smothered. They're in the middle of the kidnapping trade. They're overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? These Europeans was arrogant as hell. All right? Arrogant. Oh, we got the gun. We arrogant. It's crazy how arrogant he was. Just like when Stick-Up Man come. He got dropping everybody. Anybody got no gun. And he pointed at y'all saying, yo, get on your knees. I'm going to kill you. And I can do this because I got, the Stick-Up Man is arrogant. So the point I want to make here is that Charles Darwin fought against that, which you naturally would think I'm smarter than you because you ain't got nothing. It's no more different than you going into a neighborhood with poverty, right? And you see dudes running around, you be like, yo, come on, man, you could do, you'll say, well, you could go to school, you can do that. He's not even seeing that. So you thinking I'm smarter than you. You would actually have to sit down and really think about that, man, maybe they went through some stuff. Maybe they did. You would have to think about that. And it wouldn't hurt if a person came through, right, with some science to show you you're wrong. So let me go to the chat real quick and see what y'all are saying. Oh, man, I can't. See, we got in here real quick. We're going to get back on our grizzly grind. Let me see. Darwin apologist. Okay, CK, you got to explain that. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know what you mean by that, though. That's something your man Truth said. I know that's your boy. I get it. Not apologizing for Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin work actually speaks for itself, right? And anybody that think that his work don't speak for itself, you're ignorant as hell. You're ignorant towards the information that the white boy brought. And if you think he couldn't do it because he was white, then you're bananas, yo. Rosterman said, if Charles Darwin was a racist, what does it matter? It don't matter because the science panned out. But you can't get me to believe that a person that got a wife is an abolitionist, a person that a father is an abolitionist, and then your whole career is based off of uplifting humanity, not just black people, humanity, period, to let the world know, hey, y'all don't understand this, but what I'm saying is that we'll all have the ability to think. Watch this. Just because that tribe we came across don't have no guns, we can teach them how to make a gun because they have the same intelligence. As a matter of fact, Homo sapiens sapiens at 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens sapiens at 190,000 years ago, they was just as intelligent as us. I'll challenge anybody on that. They had the development of the frontal lobe. I'm going to say this again. People running around with spears and rocks and Stone Age technology at 190,000 years ago was just as intelligent as we are today. That's what science says. And that's exactly what Charles Darwin said. When he used the word savage, he was literally saying primitive. That was the lexicon of the day. What do you want me to do? So Darwin just came up with his own language? Let's get into these facts real quick. And suck y'all out there. So we're going to deal with Darwin's view on race. Right? Darwin's view on race, in contrast to the existing views on race, Darwin showed that. So he had a contrasting view, right, on race than the anthropologists of his time. This is an anthropology book right here, y'all. Okay? Okay. People, watch this. Here you go. People cannot be classified as different races. I'll say this again. In contrast to the existing views on race, Darwin showed that people cannot be classified, right, as different species. Check. All races are related and have a common ancestry. Check. All people come from savage origins. That's what he said, right? Check. Take the word out savage and just say primitive origins. And you would have to say, check. Homo sapiens sapiens didn't dive out driving cars and Bentleys, y'all. Yeah, I ain't got to admit it, though. I'm going to let y'all keep tripping. Okay? The different races, the next one, the different races have much more in common than was widely believed. Check. Read that again. The different races have much more in common than was widely believed. That's a check. Watch this. The mental capacities of all races are virtually the same, and there is greater variation within races than between races. Check. You can definitely find it in the book. We're going to go through it. There you go. Races are not distinct, but rather they blend together. Check. Okay. Hold on. It says on issue that is commonly misunderstood, truth, about Darwin, CK, is the full title, right, of his most famous book. Now remember, Truth actually brought that up. How in the hell can he be around me and bring this point up? Watch this, y'all. One issue that is commonly misunderstood about Darwin is the full title of his most famous book. Remember his book, The Origin of the Species by Way of Natural Selection, on the preservation of the favored races and the struggle for life. Man, the religious amongst you will take this part right here. Or the preservation of the favored races and the struggle for life. See, white people thought they were the favorite race. Well, I thought the Hebrews thought they were the favorite race too. Right? They whole treaties is talking about them being the favorite of God, right? So that's our Bible teaching. That's a religious thing. Truth actually said that. Okay. Okay, let's finish that. It is important to note here that race was a term that was more often used to discuss plants and animals at this point in history than it was to describe people. In fact, Darwin avoided much discussion of people in the origin of species and only used the word race a few times. In each of these cases, referring to plants or animals as the example below. Well, let's read the example below. Okay. Coming out of the book, The Descent of Man. It is often pointed out that Darwin frequently used the term savages when discussing the tribal people whom he wrote about. In his use of the term savage, however, Darwin was simply using the standard lexicon of his time. It was a term that everyone from popes to presidents used. It must also be remembered, of course, that the differences between different groups of people were really very extraordinarily were really very extraordinarily until basically the past 75 to 50 years. It said many of the groups that Europeans came into contact with practice cannibalism, self-mutilation, right? Human sacrifice, infanticide, had no writing and or were very hostile towards people outside of their own family or tribe. Of course they was. Okay? Watch this. Of course they wasn't writing because they didn't need that. Right? So as an onlooker, you're supposed to be able to make that distinction there. Right? Now you see why they was using those terms. Let me finish this real quick. It say most also had no technology beyond stone tools. Right? It say these are real substantial differences that were being counted by many Europeans for the first time. Let me say this again. These are real substantial differences that were being encountered by many Europeans for the first time. It say they were seeking explanations for why this was the case. Yeah, they used the wrong words. It's a bunch of malarkey the way they did it. We're not going to let you get away with that. You should have been smarter than that, huh? Yeah, but they wasn't. They wasn't smart enough to know just because you got a stone tool don't mean you're as intelligent as me. That don't mean that. But that's how they took that, y'all. That's what it was. This is what happened. So this is the world Charles Darwin grew up in. Just as simple as that, right? You just got to take it. It is what it is. But thank goodness you had a person, you know what I'm saying, that developed a theory that debunks all that malarkey. Hold on. It says Darwin traveled around the world on the HM Beagle, right, to some of the most remote and uncivilized places on the planet. Unlike his other European contemporaries, however, he lived amongst the tribal people that he came in contact with as an equal and observed their customs instead of seeking to be treated like a superior. See, he lived amongst the tribe. You know what I'm saying? The same way the Europeans that discovered Lucy, right? That family lived in Kenya. They lived in the tribes with the tribes, and they even learned their language. They didn't have all the hangups that we have. They didn't have the hangups that the Europeans had at that time. How many of y'all is willing to go ahead and spend some time, you know what I'm saying, with a tribe, you know what I'm saying, and learn their language and stay for a couple years? Y'all wouldn't do it, man. Not to say all of y'all won't, you know what I'm saying, but I ain't got y'all really doing that like that. I just don't. Okay? Hold on. 1 second. Let me get this right. Uh, 1 second. Uh, 1 second. All right, let's move on here. Okay, right. It's a Darwin's most extensive discussion, right? Darwin's most extensive discussion on human race was put forward in his 1871 book, The Descent of Man. That's the date for that book. Say it again. Darwin's most extensive discussion on human race was put forward in his 1871 book, The Descent of Man. It says this book has been greatly misused by opponents of Darwin because in the descent of man, Darwin assesses watch this, y'all, all of their various ideas about race, right, that existed at the time, right, presenting many ideas of other people, which he later goes on to refute. In The Descent of Man, Darwin takes questions such as, are people composed of different species? And he puts forward all the arguments for each position, right? He puts forward the evidence and claims of those who argued in favor of the position that humans are in fact separate species. And then he puts forward his own position, which is that humans are all one. I'm saying it again, which is humans are all one. It is quite easy, however, to take the quote from Darwin's Descent of Man out of context and make it appear that Darwin held positions which were in fact the exact opposite of his beliefs. And this is what many opponents of Darwin have done. See what I'm saying? What then are Darwin's views on race as put forward in The Descent of Man? Well, let's see. You got to read it. Let's see here. Mr. True. Okay. Watch this. This is in The Descent of Man. It says, our naturalist would likewise be much disturbed as soon as he perceived that the distinctive characters of all the races were highly variable. This fact strikes everyone on the first holdings, the Negro slave in Brazil, who have been imported from all the parts of Africa. The same remark holds good with the Polynesians and with many other races. It says, it may be doubted whether any character can be named which is distinctive of a race and is constant. See, he's already telling you no race. He said it may be doubted whether any character can be named which is distinctive of a race and is constant. See that right there? Watch this. Savages, even, watch this. This it goes. Savages, even within the limits of the same tribe, are not nearly so uninformed in character, as has been often asserted. Hottentot women offer certain, watch this, peculiarities more strongly marked than those occurring in any other race. See, I'm gonna say this again. Hottentot women offer certain peculiarities more strongly marked than those occurring in any other race. But these are known not to be a constant occurrence. In several American tribes, color and hairiness differ considerably, as does color in certain degrees, and the shape of the features greatly in the Negroes of Africa. They was using the word Negroes back then, right? Watch this. The shape of the skull varies much in some race, and so it is with very other character. Now, all naturalists have learned by daily bought experience how rash is it to attempt to define species by the aid of inconstant characters. Hold on. So you hear what Darwin is saying. He gives you what the quote unquote naturalists are talking about, which was definitely racist as hell, right? And he's questioning that right now. Hold on. Hold on 1 sec. I can read it faster right here off my phone. The screen is so big, I gotta go back and keep my place. Hold on. 1 sec. Make this easy so I can get through this easy. All right. Hold on a second, y'all. All right, here you go. Oh, man. Okay. All right, now let me get right here. Now it says, watch this. But the most weighty of all the arguments against treating the races of man as distinct species is that they graduate into each other independently in many cases, as far as we can judge of their having intercrossed. Man has been studied more carefully than any other animal, and yet there is the greatest possibility, right? Diversity amongst capable judges, whether he should be classed as a single species or race or as two. Varley, that's the name of a person, as three, Jakik, that's another anthropologist, as four, Kant, five, Blumenblatt, six, Buffon, seven, Hunter, all these are anthropologists naming, eight, Agassiz, another anthropologist, 11, Patring, 15, Boy St. Vincent, 16, Don Mullins, 22. Now I'm naming like the Musulmans, Don Mullinsons. He said it was 22 different races. Watch this: Morton, 60, Crawford, or as 63, according to Burke. Y'all see all these anthropologists, they're all over the place about how many races it is, y'all. See, I bet y'all didn't know that. This is in his work. Watch this. It says, this diversity of judgment does not prove that the races ought not to be ranked as species, but it shews that they graduate into each other and that it is hardly possible to discover clear distinctive characters between them. This is in Darwin's own words. He's showing that, man, it's hard to tell that. You can't necessarily say that. Charles Darwin's Descent of Man. Find it in there. Now watch this. Although the existing races of man differ in many respects, as in color, hair, shape, and skull, right? Properties of the body. Yet, if their whole structure be taken into consideration, they are found to resemble each other and closely in a multitude of points. Many of these are of so unimportant or of so singular in nature that it is extremely improbable that they should have been independently acquired by aboriginally distinct species or races. The same remark holds good with equal or greater force with respect to the numerous points of mental similarities between the most distinct races of man. I'm gonna say this again, man, because this is remember that quote I read, y'all? Right? Now watch Darwin speak against that. Watch. I'm gonna say it again. Many of these are so unimportant or of so singular a nature that it is extremely improbable that they should have been independently acquired by aboriginally distinct species or races. Watch this. The same remark holds good with equal or greater force with respect to the numerous points of mental similarities between the most distinct races of man. The American Aborigines, Negro, and Europeans are as different from each other in mind as any three races that can be named. Yet, yet, I was insensibly struck whilst living with, right, the Fuegians on board the Beagle. How similar their minds were to ours. So hold on, watch this. So when he started living with them, right, with the Africans and other indigenous tribes, he started to realize that the way they think is similar to the way I think. Now remember, this is a scientist here. And the scientist weighs in on information. So the more you learn, when you learn something, you start to change your views. That's what a scientist does. So when he started living, he started to realize, hey, wait a minute, let me read it again. I was increasingly struck while it's living with the Fuegians on board the Beagle with the many little traits of character showing how similar their minds were to ours. And so it was with that full-blooded Negro with whom I happened once to be intimate. Oh man, just told on himself. So now he's loving it. He's messing with the black woman. That's interesting right there. Man, I wonder what his wife said about that. Bananas. Maybe he wasn't married yet. Right? But the clear point here is, right, did he realize, right, that their minds, you know what I'm saying, was similar to him, the way they thought. Light went off. Watch this. Hold on. Oh, that's too long right there. Hold on, read that. Hold on. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, yeah, I had to read this because this quote is, this fact can only be accounted for by the various races having similar, right, inventive or mental powers. Yeah, I gotta read that. Because we back on the mental powers again, right? He who will read Mr. Taylor's and Sir John Newbuck's interesting works can hardly fail to be deeply impressed with the close similarities between the men of all races and tastes, dispositions, and habits. This is shown by the pleasure which they all take in dancing, rude music, acting, painting, toddling, and otherwise decorating themselves. So this is like, acting, painting, music, dancing. You know what I'm saying? This is part of the arts. As a matter of fact, they make an art part of STEM. This is what cultures do. Okay, now watch this. He's saying they basically humans do that. Painting, toddling, and otherwise decorating themselves in their mutual comprehension of gesture, language, by the same expressions in their features, and by the same, hold on, inarticulate cries when excited by the same emotions, right? Man, he's going through it. Watch he's saying they cry, same emotions. They all doing the same things. It was right now. We were saying, you mean to tell me they didn't know that? No, they didn't know that. They was learning. All right. This similarity, or rather identity, is striking. When contrast with the different expressions and cries made by distinct species of monkeys. Watch this. There is good evidence that the art of shooting with bows and arrows has not been handed down from any common progenitor of mankind. Yet, as Wistrop and Nelson have remarked, the stone arrowheads, this is important, brought from the most distinct parts of the world and manufactured at the most remote periods are almost identical. And this fact can only be accounted for by the various races having similar intuitive and mental powers. That's a checkmate statement right there. He's basically saying that no matter where we travel, right, and he gave the two anthropologists names, they would find these stone tools that were all similar, whether in Europe, whether in Africa, right, whether in North America, South America, wherever they went. So they were saying, man, this could only be accomplished, right, if they're basically similar in thinking. It's right there. This is what Darwin is saying. I'll read that again. This fact, right, can only be accounted for by the various races having similar inventive or mental powers. Let me finish. The same observation has been made by archaeologists with respect to certain widely prevalent ornaments, such as zigzags, and with respect to various simple beliefs and customs, such as burying of the dead under metholith structures. I remember observing in South America, right, that there, as in so, hold on, that there, skip. I remember, let me read this again. I remember observing in South America that there, as in so many other parts of the world, may have generally chosen to Semites, they have been generally chosen to Semites of lofty hills to throw up piles of stone, either as a record of some remarkable event or for burying their dead. So he's saying when you go around, no matter what, these people are burying their dead. See, he's coming to the same conclusion that modern anthropologists do. Modern anthropology clearly tell you that white people aren't smarter than black people, or vice versa. I know we will argue that, right? But humans are humans, and he's breaking that down. And I know it's taking a little bit of a minute, right? But it is what it is. Now, there you go. Watch this. Now, when naturalists observe, see, Charles Darwin was a naturalist, right? And now he's talking about the other naturalists, right? Now, when naturalists observe a close agreement in numbers, small details of habits, taste, and dispositions between two or more domestic races, or between nearly aligned natural forms, they use this fact as argument that they are descended from common progenitor, who was thus endowed, and consequently that all should be classified under the same species. The same argument may be applied with much force to the races of man. He's saying, see, when y'all anthropologists go around the world and y'all see these different things and similarities and stuff in animals, right? Y'all realize that they have a common ancestor somewhere. So now he's starting to apply, right? Remember, he was in a time when they had separated us from the animals. So he was putting it together. He was showing you something here, right? As a matter of fact, this clearly shows that the conscious community is somewhere before Darwin, acting like quote unquote, you know what I'm saying, that we smarter or they smarter. You somewhere back there with that nonsense. That's not what modern anthropology says. That's not what Charles Baldwin says. So the conscious community will say, we're not animals. Man, y'all back up before Charles Darwin put together his material and say, now you are an animal. Okay, like the same forces that are placed on the mouse is the same forces that is placed on humans. Finishing up, y'all. As it is improbable that the numerous and unimportant points of resemblance between the several races of man, right, in bodily structure and mental faculties, I don't have here reference to similar customs, should all have been independently acquired. They must have been inherited from progenitors who had these same characteristics. Here you go. That it says Charles Darwin descent. Charles Darwin, Descent of Man. And say the points that Darwin made here clearly reflect a view of races were more alike than what was commonly believed at the time. A man advances in civilization. Small tribes are unified into larger communities. The simplest reason would tell each individual that he ought to extend his social instincts and sympathies to all the members of the same nation through personality unknown to him. Watch this. This point being once reached, there is only an artificial barrier to prevent his sympathies extending to the men of all nations and races. Right here, Darwin is saying that when small tribes form larger tribes, form for large communities that end up being civilizations, man. He said one of their greatest tools is sympathy. Right? So he's breaking it down. He's saying, yo, like, y'all ain't got sympathy for these people over here at all. When this is part of the peace. So now we know that peace is part of the cognitive thinking, right? That, you know what I'm saying, sympathy. This is one of the things that brought Homo sapiens into being. This is what they know now. That the fact that we were very communal, right, and was very sympathetic, right, to our fellow brethren and sister, right, is what made us work well together, which kept the clan together, which made us stay together longer and grow longer, right? This is why we're here today, because of the way we had sympathy, right? Darwin is saying, man, y'all going against what I'm learning here, what I'm studying. Remember, this guy actually put that together. Right now, anthropology books will tell you, show and prove that crying, that's part of the evolutionary process. Sympathy is part of the evolutionary process. And this is the difference between Homo sapiens sapien and Homo neanderthal. Homo neanderthal, you know what I'm saying, they didn't have large groups. They wasn't really communicating with each other that way. They wasn't really sympathetic for other people they didn't know. This is the difference. This is what makes you human. And this is what Darwin was trying to say. And he said it in his work. How in the hell is he a racist? I don't know. I'm going to keep pounding the payment real quick. No, that's long. Let me see. No, I'm not going to read all that. That's a lot right there. All right. I'm just going to hold pace on that right now. All right. I'm about to give out the link. Right. Anybody want to come on? All right. All right, Poor Black. This is the European History Channel now. All right. Okay. Darwin saved in the mean streets of Baltimore. Okay, good joke. Difference between humans and now humans. Okay. All right. So, all right, I hit a little smart comments, but I'm gonna put that link out. I'm gonna see if y'all gonna be chatty patty. See if y'all gonna be chatty patty or get on here and stand up. That's what we're gonna see. We won't find out. The European History Channel. John Henry Clark said, study European history first. Hey, don't hate, man. Just participate. It's not my fault. It's not my fault that you don't understand what Darwin was saying. It's not my fault. In his mind, he reached the point to realize, right? And I read it from his book. It wasn't just one sentence. I read paragraphs of him explaining how sympathy is one of like the highest values. That thinking, we all think that it's not much difference at all. I said he said all of that. So I don't know if this is the History Channel, but we're going to teach history, right? And we ain't going to just be stuck on black people. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about people, period. Plain and simple. Like, you can't get the whole picture if you just stay black. That's the problem. Everybody stay you black, and you're not looking at the other stuff around you, so you lose. You're not listening with quote unquote Charles Darwin was trying to say. You're not listening to what the great John Henry Clark was trying to say. You're just not. I see you in the building, Sister Kaba. How you doing? Black African Power. Appreciate you coming through. She's a scholar. Appreciate you. Like I said earlier, before you came into the building, I respect the brand of NBK. I respect truth historian scholarship. But not on this subject. On this subject, he's wrong. On biological human evolution, he's wrong. And this thing that we call science, you can't take out one sentence and characterize a whole scientific treaty on a subject. You just can't do it. So no, I don't personally know how Charles Darwin felt about black people. What I can say, his work clearly showed, right, that he had love for the species of Homo sapiens sapiens, that he thought they was all the same. And see, that's the piece. Because by the time you come to Harvard and Yale, right, in the science classes, they was teaching pseudoscience, y'all. They was teaching a human being that the African come from gorillas. I think they said the Europeans came from chimpanzees or something crazy like that. And absolutely, the black man wasn't as intelligent as them and wasn't really human. Yeah, they was really teaching that in science. And see, y'all try to use that against science. But that wasn't science. That was junk science. That was pseudoscience. If not for Charles Darwin, they still be saying, oh, y'all not human. See, that's what he did. See, he did it with his work. See, Marcy. See? They don't gotta belong to nothing. Look, they do it with their work. Look, Marcy Clan. They do it with their work. Look, see? They work. All right? Brother Ben, he doing it with his work. All right? Dr. Ben, he doing it with his work. See? He ain't had to join no organization. He did it with his work. Where did I learn about Charles Darwin from? Dr. Ben. We're going to get into that. We're going to read his quotes. Would Dr. Ben promote a racist? Would John Jackson promote a racist? Would John Henry Clark promote a racist? Not no, but hell no. Read the man's work, man. Read his work, man. Make sure y'all get the Spears of the Masi, man. An historical survey, right, of the minds of African warrior scholars, Volume 1, by Kofi Pasa Research Team. Man, ain't nothing like it, yo. Ain't nothing like it. Got minds. Shout out, man, to the research team, man. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. All day, every day. All day, every day. All right, let me drop this link. Let me see who brave tonight. Let me see who brave. Let's see. Let me hear y'all opinions. Remember, we ain't arguing, we ain't throwing no shots, we ain't doing that, man. Let's go. There you go. That's the link. It's the real link. Dropping them links. Dropping them links. My favorite person that. Yeah, so we gotta get this straight, man. All right, that's real. So, by the way, y'all never heard me call myself a scholar. I always said I was a universal street scholar, man. I got mine from the street. I used to go to everyone's place, sit down and read books. All right, let's go to the library, sit down and read books. Get into the college libraries and read their books, man. Go online and read their books. That's what I do, man. Look at it. Go to the universities, and go online to universities and look at their videos, what they got. Because I understand that they hide our history from us in the library. I mean, I get it. I get it. I absolutely get it. All right. But y'all can access the library. And so for the conversation, for the intelligent conversation around here, this is what we're going to have, right? You absolutely got to read something. I'm not saying you got to wake up every morning and read like I do. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you got to listen to an audible book like I do every day. I'm not saying that. Or tune into a good YouTube lecture. I'm not saying that. I ain't saying you got to do it, but I'm saying you got to do it sometimes so that when you do ask questions, they can be well-informed questions, right? Okay, you have to be able to know what you want to know. All right. And it's, and the one sentence scholarship or the one sentence judgment on a person that stood up against, think of the time he's in. I don't think y'all getting the time he's in. Man, it's funny, right? And I'm gonna say somebody had to do it. Somebody had to start digging up graves, yo. Because remember, in certain cultures, man, these graves were sacred, right? And the Europeans had no qualms over digging up other people's shit or digging their shit up. Now, this was close, you know what I'm saying? Then they wouldn't dig up, they wouldn't go out and dig up their mother. They wouldn't do that. But in other lands, they was digging up stuff. We call it anthropology, yo. That's part of that is digging up graves and stuff to study. That's funny, right? But they did it. And how about experimenting on people? Oh, they experimented on black people when they got us. They experimented on their own kind. Read the book Medical Apartheid. And they was doing a lot. It's crazy. It ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't funny, right? But they did all that. They was very inquisitive, yo. Crazy. All right? So if you look at what the African did, all parts of Africa, you clearly know that we just as intelligent as everybody else because the weaponry they had, right, at their time, and their tribe, and their nation, and their world was top notch. You do not get to an intercontinental missile, right, without a spear. You do not get to a spear without a tip, right? You do not get to a spear tip without a hand handle. My fault, a handheld rock hammer, right? Then they added stuff to that. They added the what? They added the stick to the rock, tied it. Now you got an axe. Now you can throw it. You know what I'm saying? The first projectiles, they was picking up throwing rocks. That's why I cracked the joke about the Palestinians, you throwing rocks at tanks. That's what our ancestors did. They threw rocks. And guess what, y'all? Rocks, when thrown in unison with groups of people, are deadly. They was running the first Europeans up out of there, yo, with them rocks. Remember the Europeans had the one shot guns, pow! But then you got 100 rocks coming at you, knocking them out. Right? So you can throw a rock 100 miles an hour. I just want to let y'all know. So our early ancestors, yo, were professionals at throwing rocks. I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm just telling you. Get you in there. All right.
Too. Human shields too.
What's going on, brother? What's going on, bro?
What's going on? Just building on what you're saying. You were just going through what you were doing was like too deep for most
folks.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, how you doing, brother? What's going on, man? You got a question? You got something to say? What's going on with you? I can't hear you now. You ain't saying nothing.
What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I was just rocking with some of the stuff he was bringing out. Too deep for most people. They haven't. I can't say what they've done or they haven't done, but you know, a lot of people. You heard me on the shows that we did earlier this week, and a lot of people do not like to defer with some of the modern scholarship that has already been done. And that's not to say that when you were just dealing with some of Charles Darwin stuff that any of it's true or any of it's false, but you're taking the people down the right path, especially when you were just mentioning, it was just 2 minutes ago, when you were saying, like, getting them books. You said getting them audio books, getting that Audible, and then something that people are starting to try to build opposition to, even YouTube. But fortunately, and nobody wants to be a YouTube scholar and you just regurgitating what somebody else said, but there's a lot of information on YouTube. And you know, the way I approach the community, the way I approach the information is that, okay, I don't care what scholar it is, and I don't care how high of a level he is. He could be at the top tier level and put some information out. And then my task for that day is to vet his information to the best of my ability. A lot of times there's things that I agree with, regardless of the scholar. I'm talking top-notch, well-known scholars. There are things that they bring out, that things that I disagree with, that I go vet and go find other information that disagree with their thesis, their narratives, etc. So our people, we have to, our people, this is a show for us, our people have to get into that arena, get in the game of scholarship. That's the only thing that I propose. And we get away from just propagation, and we get away from pseudo information. So I just love what you're doing, bro.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, man. You know, I don't try to go over people's heads at all, right? I just know what they're gonna have to get. And I was, you know, I got a couple jokes in the chat. I'm Darwin apologist, but man, I come out of the mindset where we blackanize everything, and that shit kind of hurt us. You know what I'm saying, like, it wasn't. It was a point to start from, but then at a certain point, you had to just, you know, say, well, damn, if we was the greatest of this, how in the hell did they just kidnap us like that? And it makes you start to realize that, man, there are certain things that just didn't happen, which is okay. But there are things that still can happen, and that's okay too. But what you got to know is you got to understand the work that Darwin did, right? You got to know where he was coming from. And if you stand up in the wrong places and say something crazy, you're going to get beat down. So we always want to be armed. You never want to listen to a bunch of religious zealots, because that's what the religion people did. Religious people use Darwin against you. Oh, he's a racist, and they cut and paste shit. So when then you try to do that, like, you got to know you follow religious zealot, and we all claim not to be religious. But yet when you do that, that's exactly who you follow. So we got to read. And I'm not saying that, you know, that everybody's going to read, but I'm saying for this thing we doing right here, it's essential. I ain't saying you got to read a chapter of a subject you want to talk about or ask a question about. Read a Wikipedia article. Look at a YouTube video. I do the YouTube video.
Let me build on that. like I said, people are opposed to certain sources, and I can understand that. And everybody should be critical of everything that comes across their eyes and everything that comes into their mind. You should be critical. But what one of the things that I use Wikipedia as a tool. I don't take it verbatim. The article, the particular article that a person, like let's say I Google something and Wikipedia comes up, and I look at Wikipedia. The good thing about Wikipedia is it does have the sources attached. So we have to not be lazy. We have to do our due diligence, and we have to start. Unfortunately, it takes you down a long ass rabbit hole, but not a bad rabbit hole. When you look at a Wikipedia article, the sources are listed below. Start looking at the sources below, and if you choose to, the ones that you agree with, even buy books from the sources. Vet it, look at it. You know, there's price points and things like that that you got to pay attention to. But like, even when it comes to Wikipedia, I mean, especially if you like, okay, I'm gonna put it like this: regardless of which area you're working in, whether you're working in the religious sector or the non-religious sector, and you're online, now we can jump outside of Wikipedia. Okay, that's just one website with sources on it, because there's so many academia. There's so many sources. When you come across a source online, one of the first things that you should do is look at the author of the article. Take his name, copy it, paste it into another tab. Look at his authorship, see what books he's written, see what he has written, he or she has written. Every person that comes up as a source, vet them. And it's a tough work in this walk, in this community that we in, when we searching out and seeking out information and trying to bring ourselves up to the level of what we call modern scholarship. But it takes work, and you can't forsake it. You cannot bypass it. Otherwise, you will end up dealing with things that you have not vetted, and you will be dealing with things that are low level information and things that have already been debunked. I'm done with
it. Yeah, you hit it right on the nose. Right on the nose. I see what's going on, King Sosa. What it do, brother? Welcome to the show.
Peace, man. Where the crew at, man?
Oh, this is a Real Black Atheist show, man.
Oh,
they come to everybody link.
Yeah, man. I heard some of that earlier, but that shit was bananas, bro.
Yeah. I play a role in that. I play a role in that, yo. But I can get people like that. He get people like that. So we got like that.
Yeah, but like because from what I was listening to, it's like a lot of it is like the pulling words from the 1800s without really dealing with the lexicon from that time.
Yeah, it's
crazy. And they're using modern thinking to define what Darwin was writing in the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That was part of the first fallacious mistake. And there's a difference too when you're reading historical writings and when you're reading the work of a scientist. Mm-hmm. The writing's going to be different because they're laying out an argument before, right? And then they're going to challenge the arguments, and then they're going to put the conclusion.
That's good work.
So you have to read the entirety of it to get a full understanding of what's being conveyed. You can't just, because you might just grab the abstract and you don't have the conclusion. And you're using the abstract or the, you know what I'm saying, or some of the question as the basis for what he's saying. So that's why I thought it was some of it was crazy, bro. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I just want to add to you, King. And then like what you just said, unfortunately, and this is something I had just said a couple moments ago, unfortunately, when you got a work of art in front of you, you got to vet the whole thing. Person put a piece of literature in front of you, regardless of the size, you're going to look at it. You got to look at the whole thing, and you got to go vet it, and you got to go revalidate it. And then that's how scholars and historians end up, and scientists, all three of the sex, end up trumping scholars, historians, and scientists by vetting and validating the information that has come out, using the word that you said, finding out what is historical. Now, when you're talking about the scientific portion of that, that's a different ball game. But at least on the first two fronts that I talked about, you're absolutely right.
For sure.
Let me read this. Let's come to this book in the introduction by Adrian Desmond and James Moore. Darwin's Sacred Cause, Race, Slavery, and the Quest for the Human Origins. Here you go. Always going to have a book on that, man. All right? They say roots is where we began. Roots as in Alex Haley. Stern historical, a starring historical novel. The enslavement of Black Africans that so outraged Darwin's generation. So we talking about his family. Okay, so he was raised in a family, you know what I'm saying, that was outraged by slavery. No matter what y'all say. Don't get mad at me. Be mad at Charles Darwin family. Be mad at them because they seen you, you know what I'm saying, as something more than a slave. They felt like you shouldn't have been there. Don't get mad at me because Darwin actually supported their argument with science. Because at this point, they just talking the talk. The white people that's claiming that we have humans on is talking the talk, but Darwin went and did something about it. The enslavement of Black Africans that so outraged Darwin's generations. It was Darwin's starting point to his abhorrence of racial servitude and brutality. His hatred of the slaves' desire as he jotted to make the Black man and other kind subhuman, a beast to be chained. Roots were what Darwin's human project was all about. Huh. Watch this. And to understand why he started thinking about the roots, the origins of Black and white races, we have to appreciate his moral anchorage in the noontide of the British anti-slavery movement. So he was anchored in the British anti-slavery movement. His whole family was. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that was in the anti-slavery movement actually thought that just because you thought we shouldn't be slaves don't mean you thought I should marry your wife. Just because you felt like that my ancestors shouldn't be enslaved don't mean you felt like I was equal to them. I'm not saying that. But there's a difference here, though. Darwin actually proved that we was. He wasn't just talking the talk. See, a person can make their mouth say anything, but can you support that with scientific data? See, that's what he did. So you can say he was whatever you thought he was, but what you can't say is that his work agreed with that. So if this is the case, his own work didn't agree with him being a racist. Let me finish. It is the key to explain why such a gentleman of wealth and standing should risk all to develop his bestial monkey man image of our ancestry in the first place. Remember, they said he was a monkey. Some of the first pictures of him as being a monkey is of Charles Darwin. Why would he take all that backlash? Why? Let me keep going. Always return, often unwell. See, Darwin was kind of sickly, right? Darwin never threw himself into the abolitionist rallies or petitions as his relatives did. Okay, so there you go, truth. All right, so no, he didn't actually throw himself into that like that. Now you got that. 1 point for you. Let me show you how you overstate that point, though. While activists proclaimed a crusade, you know, like Martin Luther King and them, right? And then people doing Darwin's time, they claimed a crusade against slavery. His words, a crusade, his word against slavery, right? He subverted it with his science. Let me read that again for you. Always return, often unwell. Darwin never threw himself into the abolitionist rallies and petitions as his relatives did. While activists proclaimed a crusade, his word, against slavery, he subverted it with his science. Where slave masters bestialized blacks, Darwin's starting point was the abolitionist belief in blood kinship, a common descent. See, remember modification by common descent, natural selection, right?
Yeah. Hey, you still reading, or you still reading, or can we just
Still reading. Still reading. Hold
on. Let me know when you finish.
All right, hold on. Watch this. Atomic unity and the brotherhood of man were anathema in the anti-slavery tracts that he and his family devoured and distributed. So Darwin and his family were actually, you remember they was Christians, right? So if you believe in, for real, if you believe in God, then the atomic thing is that there was one man and one woman. So see, there wasn't supposed to be no separation. But after you get out of Genesis, then you start to see things start to get separated a little bit there with the Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Hey,
Right?
Can you hear me, bro? Can you hear me, bro?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Well, hold on. Let's just we're not gonna go into anything biblical, but it's not after you get out of Genesis, because when you're in Genesis, when you're talking about, at least I'm a bypass Moses, and I got everything pertaining to Moses being an inbred bastard. But even when you talk about, we'll say, when you go to Jacob and those 12 children, that's all inbreeding. That's him and his cousin. So I just wanted to just point that out for you. I understand where you're going with it, but I don't want us to go and say what you said. I just want to stay with you right here. We don't want to say when you get outside of Genesis, then you get this inbreeding, because a lot of it, the majority of the inbreeding really took place in Genesis. So I'm just trying to just bring it.
I stand corrected.
All right. Okay, brother.
See, I ain't cuss you out. I ain't mad at you. I ain't arguing with you, because I ain't the Bible, man, any damn way.
All day, bro. All day.
Because the Ham and Japheth occurred in Genesis. You're absolutely right. The Noah's flood occurred in Genesis. You're absolutely right. Moving forward. Appreciate you, brother. Okay. Devoured and distributed material. Okay, it says it implied a single origin for black and white and shared ancestry. And this was the unique feature of Darwin's particular brand of evolution. Right. See, that's what made Darwin's evolution, because you had evolutionists of that time too that predate him. We talked about Al-Jahid, right? He's a Muslim, he's an African Muslim, right? That writes the book of animals, right? And he's talking about evolution. This is prior to Charles Darwin. So to talk about evolution is an African thing. Great African thinkers before Darwin's time was trying to figure out evolution. It's a life itself was made up of countless trillions of siblings, common descent, not only black and white, but amongst all races, all species, through all time, all joined up in bloodlines back to the common ancestor. So remember, his work started in the abolitionary movement, man, of bloodline ties. I can show you all the seal, right? And so he seek to prove this. So when y'all in the community talking about we all come from Africa, right? And we all the mothers and fathers of humanity, and then I say, well, okay, explain it, and you can't, and you fight against evolution, that don't make no sense. And just like that don't make no sense, because to say that you from Africa and to say you're the mothers and father, you're saying that if you're the mothers and father of human beings, and you're the mothers and fathers of white people too. You can't say that you're the mothers and fathers of humanity and yet deny evolution. Then you just might as well be a Christian. You can't say that Charles Darwin is a racist, right? And then agree with his theory of evolution, of natural selection by common descent and sexual selection. You just those two, you can't do it. So if you understand natural selection, if you understand evolution, natural selection is a mechanism in evolution. If you understand all of that, then you understand what I'm saying. And to fight against that means you don't understand. I'm gonna say it again. If you claim that we from Africa, and if you claim that we the mothers and fathers of humanity, if you claim we're the first people to walk upright and then deny evolution, that don't make no sense. What it means is you don't understand why we come from Africa, and you don't understand why we the mothers and fathers, and you don't understand why we the first to walk upright. That's exactly what that means. And I can't say it no more clear than that. So the theory of evolution proves that all human beings are the same with variations to them based off their environment. So if you're in the colder regions, your skin is going to be lighter. If you're on the Sahara, you know what I'm saying, or the goddamn sun belt, the equator, right? Then your skin is going to be darker. But white people are nothing but mutated Africans. Australians are nothing but mutated Africans. North Americans, South Americans are nothing but mutated Africans. Us on this show, right, are mutated Africans. And if you do not understand that, then you need to read and then say, man, I got it. Because that's how I had to get it. You had to read. You got something to say, King Soul?
No, keep building, I'm rocking with you.
Got you. So yeah, yo, we fucking with the MBK all day, man. It's just that when it comes to this subject, this is not a knock on MBK at all. This is strictly me and truth right here. This is strictly me and truth on this. And the shit got out of hand. I will admit it.
Hey, you know what else I want to add too, though? Y'all let Pastor Bennett get away with a lot too. He keeps asking. He keeps saying science is the observation of nature, and he keeps saying, "Well, did science observe evolution and the transition, right?" So you have to explain to him that observation in science doesn't just mean looking at with your eyes. It's also experimentation is observation in science. Gathering of data is observation in science. So science has absolutely observed evolution through the data and the instrumentation that they use to gather data.
Well, let's just add to that. Let's just say that as far as what's capable right now, we don't know what's to come. Using science to try to put forth a best guess or a hypothesis, that's where we are now.
Yeah, all you got to do is pull up Google observation, and they'll explain to you what observation means according to science. And you got to explain to them too that evolution is a theory and a fact. Like a lot of people just thinking that it's just a theory. They don't understand that it's both theory and fact.
The good thing about what you just said is when you start going down that, it basically pushes everything else to the side. It bypasses everything else. It proves pretty much anything that's biblical, especially Abrahamic. It proves that stuff false.
For sure. Yeah, but I like the comment. I mean, until it got. I mean, even though it was getting crazy, but I like it was a good discussion to have. You know what I'm saying? If it could have stayed, stayed a little more peaceful. I think too a lot of time, even with Pastor Bennett, even with Black Lion, like they don't understand a lot of times that the way they're asking the question is incorrect, and they get an incorrect response because they're asking the question wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like when he said, "Did man come from fish?" It's like saying, "Did man come from monkey?" Instead of saying, "Does man and fish have a common ancestor?" You see what I'm saying? So they don't understand that the proper way to ask the question sometimes, and they get the wrong answer. So they get confused a lot.
Hey, Killer, I'm gonna say I think I've been a part of this community for about 5 years now, and I think you're one of the first people that I've seen in the community, and I know me and you have been across the board in certain areas. I think This is the first time that I've seen someone go this route and this in depth into this realm of this portion of science. So big ups to you for that, and I'm sure that you're gonna open some eyes and you're gonna drive some directions and get people looking at things as it pertains to this particular scientific method or theory.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that, man. Mm-hmm. Gotta do it though, man. If I don't do it, who gonna do it, yo? We can't be running around thinking like if black people did everything, that's gonna kill you dead at the end of the day, yo.
Like I said, as far as I'm aware, you're the first person to do it. I don't know everybody on YouTube, but as far as I'm aware, this is the first time that I've seen that breakdown and the things that you read. Hopefully, you could connect with me and let me see the sources that you read, and then I'll just go work off that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna drop that. So let's come to still in the introduction here. Let's talk about the word racism for a minute. Finally, the word about terminology, although scientific racism is said to start about 1860, taken over from an earlier xenophobia. We believe that such a hard and fast line is problematic. If racism is taken to mean categorizing differences in order to denigrate, control, or even enslave, then its scientific components and rationale can be traced much earlier. It is generally unknown that, let me say it again, it is generally unknown that American slavery justifying race agitators were actually booming their hatreds as early as 1841 at the British Association for the Advancement of Science. Now, I'm going to say this again for you because people always think, well, I'm going to get you with the scientific racism. No, you're not going to get me with the scientific racism because I studied that. I understand what scientific racism was. And I appreciate the work that Charles Darwin did, you know what I'm saying, to break that pseudoscientific junk science malarkey. It says it is generally unknown that American slavery justifying race agitators were actually booming their hatred as early as 1841 at the British Association for the Advancement of Science. So they're in science doing this. Like we don't know that. Even before that, they were subjugating to the anatomical inferiority of blacks. These ideologies and slaving justifications bathed the cultural debates in brawling Darwin's thought, no, through no, and brawling Darwin throughout the 1840s and 1850s. And we think that racism is an acceptable historical term in Darwin's content. We must add that this anthropology for the ethnological through pass, all the actors in our story, Darwin included, held derogatory views of other peoples to some extent, and used terms to match. So we're not letting Darwin off the hook. The same way we're not letting y'all off the hook. We tell it like it is. So of course he had some views. It was the time he was raised in. It is what it is. Okay? It is what it was. So let's cut the malarkey out. The science proves forward that no, we are on par with everybody. Okay? In fact, the science, the evolutionary theory proves that you're the mothers and fathers of humanity. I mean, I thought you was fighting for that. I actually thought that we was fighting for that. And then when I give you the tool to explain that, you throw bananas and pickles at me. To hell to that. This is an amazing time for the great African American. Huh. Say no, say no to pseudo. What's up? Can't even hear you, bro. Can anybody hear him?
I thought I thought I was breaking up. Either I'm breaking up or you breaking up. That's why I was trying to hear somebody else talk.
Who breaking up? Me? I'm breaking up?
Could that's unless it's me on my internet section. Somebody else say something.
Let's say no to pseudo. You're not breaking up. I hear you. Anybody want to speak? Rem, what's up with you?
Yeah, what's up? I just want to clarify. Are you saying that Charles Darwin was not a racist?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's just read the definition of racism. The belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. So if you go to the Descent of Man on page 105, what does he say about? Does he not claim that whites are more advanced and more civilized than blacks and Australians who are closer to gorillas? Now, this is not. Wait. This is not. Wait. This is not a scientific statement. He didn't do any. That's not a scientific statement. That's Charles Darwin just making a statement. That is a racist statement because it fits the definition of racism. But Charles Darwin saying stuff that's racist is separate from scientific research. He said a lot of stuff that was racist. He talked about the people in he talked about the. Sorry.
Let's read the page. What's wrong with you? I know you heard me. I'm not gonna let you read 2 sentences and then get away with that. I read whole paragraphs showing the man said exactly the opposite of that. Like, come on, dude.
You just read something. You just read something right now before I started talking that said that
derogatory terms. You do the same thing if me and you went to a damn island with a bunch of people wiping their ass.
But you can say that. You can say I would do the same thing. But I would
stuff that later on will be considered derogatory.
Yeah, but you can say that.
Woman, you ain't had no shoes on. Your generation ain't had shoes on for 300 years. Can you at least get the husk off your feet? You know, if you don't got no shoes on, the bottom of your feet are gonna be real hard, bro. That ain't what we feeling right now in black women, and you know it. So that would be kind of derogatory, bro.
Yeah, but that fits the definition.
That don't mean that you're a racist at all. That don't mean that you wouldn't understand the humanity of that person, and that don't necessarily mean that you thought you was better than them. You would simply say that you ain't knowing as much as I'm knowing. Like, this is part of what humans do, and this is the era that he came. He was studying that. You got to respect that. You act like that he came into a world that we came into with all the shit already out there. During this time, it wasn't out there, bro. You get that? It wasn't. And he said some derogatory things. But just because you say some derogatory things based off of your environment, the way you raised, it don't necessarily mean that you are racist. Last time I checked, racists don't overthrow racism. I've never seen a racist person dedicate their life to overthrow racism. That is the point I'm making, though, bro. It doesn't fly right with me, bro.
He didn't do that though. He was against slavery. Let's look at what he propagated. He promoted that these people that he's calling savages, he promoted going to where they were. Yeah.
Can we read the
sorry?
page? Can we read? Give me the page.
All right.
Tired of playing with you. Let's read it.
At some future period.
No, give me the page so I can look it up. I'm not going to do the best.
I already told you that. I said page 105, Descent of Man. I already said that before I started talking.
Got you, brother. Thank you. Descent of Man. Start reading from the top of the page. Go. I don't want to read from in the middle. I don't want to do that. Start. Go ahead. But these breaks depend what?
But these breaks depend merely on the number of related forms which have become extinct. At some future period, not very distant as measured by centuries, the civilized races of man will almost certainly exterminate and replace the savage races throughout the world. At the same time, the anthropomorphous apes, as Professor Schaffhausen has remarked, will no doubt be exterminated. The break between man and his nearest allies will then be wider, for it will intervene between man and...
Professor, who said what?
Okay.
Who said that?
What?
The professor
Killer, let him bring it
Said
out.
what?
I can't hear
He's
nothing. Hey, I'm gonna go back out, man. Let me back in. I'm gonna come in on my laptop.
he's referenced.
He's not breaking up, yo.
Hello?
You're not breaking up, King Sosa. What? Go ahead, bro. You stop yelling.
He's referencing Professor Schaffhausen, who's saying that the savage races throughout the world.
Right. That wasn't Darwin, though. Yo, that's the point I was trying to bring. I was trying to tell you.
Hey, Killer, let me ask you a question real quick, straight. And so one of your premises, just bringing it full circle, one of your premises that Charles Darwin was not racist. That's just a question for me to you, just so I can be on the same page as everything is coming out. You need me? Do you need me to repeat the question?
Yeah, who are you talking to?
No. To Killer B, God Killer.
Yeah, I'm saying he wasn't a racist, and I'm saying that statement he just read.
I just wanted to get that from you. I'm good. That's it.
Okay. And watch the funny part is the statement he just read.
Bro, you don't have to give me an explanation. I just wanted to.
No, I'm not giving an explanation. I'm continuing my show. Relax. I'm just simply saying that the statement the brother just read that he claimed Charles Darwin said, Charles Darwin didn't say it. He was quoting a daggone professor. Yo, and he tell you the professor.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. That's what you just said.
I could be.
What you just said is incorrect. Because if you read it,
let's read it again. Let's get down here. At the same time, the anthropomorphous apes, as Professor Schullenfuns has remarked,
will no longer
review in 1867 on page 23 will no doubt be exterminated.
Yeah.
Man, he said that's what he said. That's the guy. He read his statement. Here's his statement, bro. Hold on. So y'all don't think I'm just bucking. We started with a sentence, but these breaks depend merely on the number of related forms which have been extinct at some future period, not very distinct as measured by centuries. The civilized races of man will almost certainly be exterminated and replaced with the savage races throughout the world. At the same time, the anthropomorphous apes. Okay, so Professor Wishmacombs is talking about the anthropomorphic apes, correct?
Yes. Okay,
you're right. So let's deal with this statement. Let's deal with this whole statement right here. Is that a true statement he made, yes or no? Based off of what we're supposed to know with the savage race game. Do you know what savage race means?
I don't care. I don't care because it's not scientific.
No, you can't say
I don't have to care because
it's important to the discussion, bro. Just answer the question. It's important, bro. Just answer. Do you know what it is or not?
Just you know what the word means.
Well, what's that got to do with what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because it's important, yo. It's an important word, yo. We define words and we look at the lexicon of the time.
That is not the point. That's not the part that I'm saying that is racist. It's the next part.
Which part?
So I don't know
which part?
The break between man and his nearest allies will then be wider, for it will intervene between man in a more civilized state, as we may hope, even the Caucasian and some ape as low as a baboon, instead of as now between the Negro or Australian and the gorilla. Yes, I do understand that. The Caucasian is more civilized and a more advanced. And the Negro or the Australian is more.
Why would he say that though?
I don't care. I don't care.
No, you gotta keep it in context. You can't.
No, all I'm saying is
you gotta think about what you're saying right now. Yo, go ahead, man. I'm gonna let you talk.
No, but listen, it's like you're asking me why someone's racist. All I'm saying is that statement.
Okay, yes, sir.
Is a racist statement.
Okay.
Like you ask a question, bro, you get defensive. It's like we're just trying to further the conversation, but it's like,
all right, man. All right, yo. So for you, that one statement, the hell with the rest of the book.
It's not only that statement.
No, I'm just saying, the hell with the rest of the scientific treatise. The hell with that, basically.
No, because there's other works.
That book clearly said that all humans are the same and was just as intelligent as each other. This book right here that you fighting over right now.
Where? Can you quote me that way you said that?
Man, come on, yo. All right, let's pull up the Wikipedia article on the book, yo.
Because you just read something.
No, listen. What I'm trying to tell you is it not true that when you saying less developed races, you gotta know what he's talking about. So right now, how many indigenous tribes do you find in the world? Right now, I'm talking about that has never even seen humans. You might got about what, 5? The modern that don't have no modern technology at all. And if you come in contact with them, you'll kill them because the germs you carry will kill them. How many tribes is that? So think about it. They have literally been wiped out. Why have they been wiped out? Because they've been sucked into the regular population. They wear clothes, they wear shoes. You know what I'm saying? They speak like they that's what he's talking about, bro. You got to understand that. Like, come on, man. And then you forgetting the mindset that he had during that time. That's the only view it was back then, bro. Like you making it seem like he had the same stuff we got right now, and we can clearly see that that's some fucking crazy shit. No, he didn't see that.
Yeah.
He had to develop a theory that proved that, you know what I'm saying, we was the same. Like, you act like they knew that. You think it was inherent that human beings automatically understood that, oh, let me get this straight, that you, because we're talking about the Europeans now, right? We're not going to put the way the Europeans was thinking on other Africans. Let's separate that for a minute. Let's get serious with the conversation. Because Charles Darwin is a European, and he's dealing with other Europeans. Let's get this straight. He's also dealing with anthropologists that live in India too. Okay? So what I'm saying is, during that time, that was a prevailing thought. They used the word savage. That was part of the lexicon. When he was talking about savage, he was clearly talking about races that are less developed. No more different than right now, if we was to go to a deserted island somewhere and see people with no shoes on, no deodorant, we would actually think that they was less technically sound than we was. They ain't got no cell phones, never heard of it. You would really say that. Courtney brought up an example of people, I forget what part, where they go to outhouses. So if you went to a place where they was using outhouses, you'd be like, man, y'all ain't got a toilet? You would say that. Oh, you don't got toilet paper? You don't wear deodorant? You don't get your feet done? You would actually say that. Right now, knowing what you know, that they're just as intelligent. You would say that now. You're expecting a group of people, right, who don't as a doorknob about humanity. Remember during that time, they really thought people came from the Bible, yo. See, you forgetting all of this. You don't believe people came from the Bible. The Darwin wife did. Darwin's father did. They really thought that the beginning of humanity was in the Genesis in the Bible, bro. Like, you forgetting that. That was the prevailing thought amongst Europeans.
They have certain cases that they make for the what's called the Indo-European section, in which they tie that from being Japhet in the Bible, and that's okay. That's fine. I agree with you, bro, Killer. But I'm just telling you some things that I have been looking at as it pertains to their thoughts. They really are standing on the Indo-European, the languages and everything that pertain to Europe and everything that has to do with Japhet. They really stand on that. So go ahead.
Hey, I still stand on that statement today, huh? We're talking about like that shit is a fact now. Like if you look at the Adam and Eve or the Adam and Islanders, right? Like they are encroaching on their territory. They only got like a small area, and they starting to take that land. Like they kind of want that area. Like it's only but for so long, and even some of them they got them wearing clothes. So when he's saying, when he talk about the civilized, right? Because we look at ourselves as civilized. And if we're honest, we look at some African tribes and say, yo, that's barbaric. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a different.
No.
Listen. That is racism.
Listen. What I'm saying is it's not an absolute for everybody in the entire world. But a lot of people, okay, I'll rephrase it. A lot of people, because we don't speak in absolutes, but a lot of people look at African tribes as barbaric.
And we both know that that's the farthest thing that you can come to when it comes to truth. Go ahead.
But that's how we view it, because we may look at whether it's African or it could be a South American tribe. I'm talking about a tribe that does not have any type. They're not building with they don't have a government system in play, anything like that. I'm talking about we look at that as somewhat barbaric. You know what I'm saying? And eventually that way of life is going to be wiped out. There's no way around that.
All right,
as
so
bro, as the population expands and we go to different areas, that way of life is gonna be wiped out.
all right, let me just add with you, and then we'll give it back to God Killer. When you're talking about barbaric, we got to look at that. They didn't divided that term, and they done made it mean two meanings. One side of barbaric, in which you just spoke of, which is uncivilized, right? The other side of barbaric is the true definition of how they are actually barbaric, the barbaric act. So when you're talking about what they called uncivilized, they basically their definition of uncivilized is basically you don't have the money that we have and you don't have the technology. Let's just put it like that. That's their definition of barbaric. You don't have the money and you don't have the civilization, and all of this stuff is false, of course, right? So we're on the same page. You don't have the money, you don't have the civilization, and etc. What's really behind the term barbaric is the murdering and the slaughtering, and that's the division which we have never been a part of. Conquest, conquering, rulership, kingdoms, absolutely. But when you talking about, especially, and I hate, you guys gonna understand when you talk to me. I hate really when I have to go and deal with biblical, but when you talking barbaric and when you talking barbaric, let's just use biblical examples. When you talking about people coming down, conquering, killing all the people, and colonizing the land, or when you come even to modern day, that's barbaric. The things that the major companies was all one family. It's called the Royal Niger companies. The Royal African Company, the Royal African Company, the Royal Niger company. The things that they. Let me finish. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. That's barbaric. When you talk about the things that the businesses that they stood up to come and colonize West Africa, the Royal Niger Company, the things that they did to come over here to the Americas, the Royal African Company, the things that they even did to themselves, the things that they even did to their own people and all across the world. That's barbaric. That has nothing to do with money, economic power. That has nothing to tell them saying. So they didn't taken this. They didn't taken this word and made a smoke screen, and they're trying to make it seem like it's one thing. And I'm almost done. But it's really.
I don't want to get really caught up on the term barbaric.
I'm gonna read the definition. I'm gonna read the definition. Barbarian, in ancient times, a member of a community or tribe not belonging to one of the great civilizations,
right?
Greek or Rome or Christian. That's what
it is. That's what I said.
But relating to barbarian invasion. They were saying people that wasn't Christians, or people that didn't belong to that civilization, they considered them that, bro. That's how the term is properly used. Simple as that.
But that's not science.
Like I said, I'm speaking in terms of Darwin thinking as far as civilized versus savage races.
I'm
talking about in that term. Eventually, the civilized.
Perfect.
Yeah, the civilized will wipe out those savage races, bro.
Perfect.
But that's not science.
We're gonna eventually take over territory.
That's not science.
And that's why
it's not science.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, wait.
I'm with him. That's why I said they divided the term. He just said it. They divided the term. Civilized versus whatever the other term he just said.
That is not science.
Man, that's not the statement. No one said the statement was a science. It's a fact, though. That all
How is that a fact? It's not a fact. It is not a fact.
Listen, man, I know you mad, yo, but listen, yo.
I'm not mad.
Listen, let me say this
Relax.
Yeah, calm down, yo. You mad like I'm beating up I'm really supporting the Africans, yo. You just missing it. I am telling you right now, what they call them, G13 states? What the hell do they call them, yo? Listen, right now in Africa, you would really want modernization, bro. I don't care what you say. You would really want Africa to be able to stand on their own. And the only way to stand on their own is to continue towards progress, to continue to be in the space age, bro. That's what you really want. And to be in the space age, you're not going to have a lot of indigenous tribes, because you know what? Those indigenous tribes are going to have to participate in the space age. I just gotta tell you, it's a tough pill to swallow, bro. But we're gonna need some great minds, you know what I'm saying, that are living certain ways in certain areas in the bush. They're gonna have to come out of that, and we're gonna have to use some of that African genius, bro. I just hate to say it. I'm gonna be the one to say it. It's gonna have to change, bro. If you think you're gonna come up against this European, bro, y'all can say you can't
You're gonna have to play on the same field as him. I've been saying that for years. You're gonna have to play on his fucking field.
That's the only way to do it. That you can't be in the space age and a dude can send a ray from space and blow your shit up. You ain't gonna be able to do it.
If you just look at the Pygmy Twa in Congo, look, the Congolese is wiping them folks out, bro. They want that for us. They're like, yo, y'all live in this, y'all ain't gonna work. We got these guns, You know what I'm saying? And they can't defend themselves, so ain't nothing they can do.
But that's exactly what happened, man. I seen an interview in Africa, and the president was like, "Yo, we need to get the Hutu, the Twa out of here." They were like, "Wait a minute." He said they run around hunting and stuff. We ain't got time for that. We need that land. Yo, he said we're in the space age, yo.
It's a hard pill to swallow, bro.
Killing the Twa, yo. I'm telling you, yo. Like they said, we got the police out here. You're not running across the street shooting at a buffalo or something. It's not going down. Man, listen, man. It ain't.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you, Haskell. What do you got to kill the whole thing, Haskell? Go ahead, bro.
I'm going right to it because I don't want to get cut off. So hold on, let me go pull it up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you be letting me rock, man. I don't know. I'm supposed to have the Yardi connection with Garfield. I don't know what's going on, man. Hold on, let me find a quote. Where the hell is this thing? Yeah, y'all could keep talking. Let me find this quote.
That's why I be, when I be looking at some of them presentation of West Africa, like, I be trying not to be cruel, but I'm like, yo, y'all better step y'all science game up. Like, that traditional stuff was cool, but y'all need to document that in the museum and get into these books, bro.
All right,
Hold on.
Hold on. Let me read this quote real quick, bro. Let me just read this quote real quick, bro. And you could go.
You gotta let Haskell go. Come on, you gotta
let me read this quote right quick, bro. I'm gonna be quick. All right, so I got the link. I'll post it in the chat. This is from a letter that Darwin wrote to some guy named Charles Kingsley, February 6, 1862. And I'll quote, "It is very true what you say about the higher races of men when high enough, replacing and clearing off the lower races. In 500 years, how the Anglo-Saxon race will have spread and exterminated whole nations. Now here's the kicker. And in consequence, how much the human race viewed as a unit will have risen in rank."
All right, God killer, you getting cut.
So
cut? Wait a minute, did you know what you just read?
What's up, fuck with you, bro? Go ahead.
Hey, Haskell, is it just me? Did you know what you just read?
I just want you to deal with it, bro. I'm instigating.
Go ahead.
Deal with it. Haskell, you said it all, Haskell.
Hey, hold on right quick, because I want to say one thing, right?
Again, though.
All right, I'm gonna read it again. All right.
He said you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on, because I already know where you're gonna go. You're gonna, because you're based. Hold on. You're gonna reiterate the point that you just made about the fact that hey, it's just the natural course of nature.
I didn't say it was the natural course of nature, bro.
Hold on. Killer, deal with the passage.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get it out.
Man,
you're pretty much gonna say a version of this is just a restating. This is just a restating of the fact that if these people don't advance and develop, they're gonna get wiped out. But that's not really the.
I'm not, bro. No, I'm not. You don't know what I was going to say.
Okay.
I'm going to say, is that not what white people did? That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, absolutely. But
said, based off I'm looking at this situation, you're right. That's going to happen.
Yeah, no, but listen. If you peep, it's not just
he's supposed to say, nah, that ain't going to happen.
Nah, listen. It's not the fact of saying that this event is going to happen.
What was he supposed to say?
He's saying that the event happening would be to the benefit of the human race. It would raise the human race up. That's the part.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on.
Let me read it again. I'm gonna read it again.
Haskell.
Where'd it come from,
Haskell?
Yeah.
Haskell, listen. I'm not even trying to be funny. When the Egyptians started going to other territories, right? And taking mines and all that, did they not spread their culture?
Sure.
Did they not raise the level of the people that they went to? Yes or no? Because they did. Did they not?
Well,
Sure. I could concede to that. Sure. No.
They gave them. Listen. They gave the Canaanites or Canaanite speakers, right? Remember the Proto-Sinaitic script? At that point, them people couldn't even worship their gods. They couldn't write their gods' names and nothing like that. The Egyptians went over there and fought with them, right? Took mines on their area because they hated the Egyptians for doing that, their sacred area, right? And actually gave them writing that would later on find in the Bible. They hated them for that shit. So they would be having the same conversation, dude. That's the way this shit could be crumbled. I get what you're saying. This shit is some
hold on. No, let me and Unc just get it in real quick, guys. Hold on. Because again, I really want to stress the point that you're talking about a group influencing another group and kind of raising them up, kind of like how the Europeans did to China. They made this incredible investment in the last 100 years by the money that was invested and the development. That's a different thing. What Darwin is saying here is,
read it.
I'm gonna read it again. It is very true what you say about the higher races of men, when high enough, replacing and clearing off the lower races. In 500 years, how the Anglo-Saxon race will have spread and exterminated whole nations. And as a consequence, how much the human race, viewed as a unit, will have risen in rank. So what he's saying is,
no, don't say what he said. We heard what he said.
No, hold on. I'm giving it some. I'm paraphrasing. I'm giving it some context.
We don't need you to give it that. We heard it.
Hold on. He's saying that as a consequence of these whole nations being exterminated, the entire human race benefits.
You said that.
That's what he said.
No, he said that.
Read what he said. Hey, Haskell, read that again, Haskell.
I'm gonna read that. Hold on. I'm gonna read that last part. In 500 years, how the Anglo-Saxon race will have spread and exterminated whole nations, and in consequence, how much the human race, viewed as a unit, will have risen in rank.
So did that happen or not?
Dog, you can't get around that.
No, hold on, brother. I'm asking. Did that happen or not?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Did that happen or not?
Yes, it did.
So then, what the fuck are we talking about?
So you're saying that we're better off as a human race for the extermination of whole?
I never. Listen, bro.
That's what he's saying, Unc.
Listen. He said as a consequence, he said that's what's gonna happen. He didn't say I support you doing it. He didn't say that's what you should do. He just said I agree with you. That's what's gonna happen. And that's exactly what happened. Now look, the thing you should ask yourself, how would he know that? How could he predict that?
He understood eugenic science at a very high level.
Yo, y'all wild, bro. Y'all is wild.
Not wild. Hey, Haskell, listen. I just want to be brutally honest right now. Brutally honest. Do you think, right, that Darwin agreeing with a person is the same as writing a scientific book that proves we're the same, right? Do you think that the fact that he's seen what was going on in his time, he already understood what was going to happen? Because he realized that, man, the technology they got ain't going to be able to stop this thing right here. So you're right about that. And as a consequence of that, which don't nobody really want to hear, don't nobody want to hear, yo, that they smashed us out, you know what I'm saying? Brought us into their culture, you know what I mean? And then look at where we at right now. See, Darwin is leaving out a lot of pieces in that statement, though, right? But the truth of the matter is that's exactly what happened.
Okay,
what
so
what you want me to do?
Hold on. So when you say,
was it right for them to run around and distinguish and white people out? Ask me that. Ask me that, bro.
All right, so you're saying that we're better off as a human race.
You're saying that.
So hold on, because you're saying that's what happened. So he's saying, Darwin is saying that the extermination of groups like the Tasmanians, that was for the betterment of humankind. You agree with that?
Agree with what?
Or are you saying that that is what happened?
That's what happened, dude.
Yeah, I'm saying them getting wiped out improved us overall as a human race.
I mean, but that's what happened anyway. On the Nile, people got wiped out, dude.
No, you're not answering the question.
Man, good God Almighty, man, I'm gonna put you off, dude. I'm answering the question. I'm saying on the Nile, people got wiped out by other cultures. Y'all tripping right now. Wiped completely the fuck out. Overthrown. That's what it like. So y'all say that's the first time that happened in human history? That's why I hit you with the wait a minute, dude. Do y'all really study the totality of human history? Right now, you hit me with the woe is me shit. The truth is we should have stopped it, but we couldn't stop it. That's the truth. The same way on the Nile River, when people came back in and wiped them people out, they wiped them out because they couldn't stop it. They absorbed them into their culture. So that didn't mean everybody got died out. They mean they got absorbed into the culture. And you know that. They ain't wipe out all tribes. That's not what happened. They wiped them out by absorbing them into the damn culture and giving them their damn language. That's fucking human history. What you want them to say, yo? You got me in the pickle right now. So I gotta say it. They've been doing that since the beginning of Homo sapiens sapiens. Human beings have wiped out people that cannot defend themselves. You just mad because we know about it right now. And we lost that one. But what about the times when we won that one? Because we did. We won more times than we lost, bro. That the different culture, indigenous cultures, wiped out other indigenous cultures because they had better technology. Let's talk about the Huns for a minute. What did the Huns have, right, that allowed them to rampage the Roman Empire, who was the largest empire at that time? What allowed the Huns to defeat the quote-unquote European tribes, barbarous tribes? They had a technological advance, bro. They had this machine that would allow them to scale the damn fences, the walls. Before that point, when you built the wall, your shit was safe. You could never do it. You could never get the people behind the wall. It was over with. The Huns came with that invention, a catapult, I believe, where you could actually climb up the damn thing and get over the wall. Dude, it was a technological advancement that allowed the Huns to run rampant over the ancient world. And if Attila wasn't so damn crazy, they would have took all that and absorbed them into their culture. Like, what you want me to say, though, Haskell? That's what it is on planet Earth.
No, that you know what, you probably be surprised that I actually, in a way, agree with you, bro. Like,
and you know, think it's right.
Hold on. Let me say this real quick, You know, when I read the story about how the Portuguese kind of finessed the Congan ruling class, a part of me, I guess sometimes it's you looking back, but it seemed to me like these were the rulers. How were they so lacking in sophistication? Because when I read that letter by that Congolese king, and he's writing to I forgot which noble in Portugal, and he's saying, brother, this is after they had been taking family members of his and different elite people in the society, snatching them up. And he's saying, brother, you're taking our best men and depleting us. What's going on? Like, he still didn't get, like, he didn't realize, like, bro.
let's
You don't realize what's going on. Like, so in a way, bro, I agree with you, but this is what I'm saying. You can be racist, right? And still be right. So I don't know why you have so much difficulty that's conceding to Darwin being racist, because he could be racist and you can still believe he's right.
So wait a minute. You take one statement he's saying, I agree with that, make you racist because you agree with something, dude? When your whole life work shows something totally different, like I'm confused, like Haskell, that's crazy. That's
Unc.
If it was the other way around, you wouldn't agree with it.
Unc. So you're telling me,
it's the same thing that we say though.
You
when you hear a pro-black who's talking, whether it's some of the more RBGs that are more, they be say like, once the black man, we gonna rise up, we gonna take back the planet, and we gonna sophisticate and educate the white man, and the world gonna be right.
Okay, but the world
is on all fours. How about that? How about the white man walking on all fours?
That's what we say.
Yo, so when they send the missionaries, in, and they spread the European culture, which is keeping Africa in a state of backwardness right now.
No, it's not. Is
that what? Yes, it is.
I reject that. No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is. It is right now. It's keeping Africa in a state of backwardness right now.
I know. Why is that though, yo? How come?
Because they're religious. They are religious. They are religious, and they didn't. And that's from the Europeans that they got that from.
No, I'm asking you. Listen, yo. Okay, but I'm asking you, how come that the system they got ain't strong enough to refute the Christianity? Like, man, you know better. So that
it was at the time. If they,
I'm just saying, dude. Listen, it's a hard ass conversation. Yo. Niggas might hate me for it, nigga. So in my mind, I'm saying, damn, that was fucked up the way they did that, right? So are we? Let me ask y'all this question: if the Europeans never came, right, would we still be chilling in Africa, eating the mangoes, doing what we was doing? We had advanced space age.
The answer is yes.
We don't know what would have happened.
All right, hold on.
But we wouldn't have.
Hold on. So. You know they hadn't been the Egypt. Listen, primarily, right? When you look at like different parts of West Africa, right, the culture been pretty much stable for thousands and thousands of years, like it wasn't no change in that. Now, the reason the Egyptians got up on it because they actually ran across different parts of the world, and so they got different ideas back and forth. That's what allowed them to do that, like the chariot and stuff like that. They kind of modified it. So it was actually the cross-cultural pollination that gave the Egyptians advantage based off, look at the map. Areas where people are just settled and not having a lot of contact with a lot of people outside of their normal thinking, the shit don't advance like that, bro. It's not until you run across other people and y'all put ideas together. I hope you get this. Look how long Stone Age was. Look how long the Bronze and Iron Age was. Look at why the Egyptians lost. Why is it that the Egyptians are so advanced? Because they had so many different types of people, bro, that stimulated growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go, first of all, you got to have a need for something to do it. Like, so you trying to tell me West Africa would have built planes, yo? Why? They didn't need them. Why would they have a plane or a car, yo? What would be the need for that?
Yeah, pressure bust pipes, man.
That's what I'm saying. That don't mean that they was dumber. See, that's what I'm trying. That don't mean they wasn't that smart. I mean, it was crazy the way the Europeans looked at it. That was a crazy way to look at the shit. That was wrong, dude. Like, that was wrong to say, yo, because I got a gun and you got a spear, I'm gonna fuck you up.
That's what the arms race is about. When you come across somebody with better technology, you up your technology. But if you don't come across anybody to challenge that technology, you're gonna remain pat because you don't have that pressure to keep increasing. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you look at Egypt. Look how much attack they was under from different tribes with different technology. They had to keep restructuring their society. They said, they come with the horse. Okay, we got to take that technology and rework it for us. You know what I'm saying? So
That's just all a part of it, bro. That's all a part of it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
Yo, what up, Chef?
Ain't nothing. I'm having a hard time understanding how we're having a problem understanding that that statement was racist. Like whether his prediction was true or not. Man. You feel me? Mm-hmm. The statement was racist is how he's talking about he said races, right? He said the Anglo-Saxon race, you feel me, will dominate, you feel me, basically lower and savage races like the African and the Australian. He's making a distinction. You feel me? Right there, he's making a distinction that there are higher races of people. Like I understand what you're saying, that in one sense he's talking about culture. You dig what I'm saying? But then it flip-flops over. And he's going back and forth. In one instance, he could, in a quote that you read, right? He's talking about culture, civilization, like these advanced civilizations, right, versus savage civilizations, right, or peoples. But then when he's talking about races, he's making a distinction. He's talking about different ethnic groups, people. That's like clear, because he uses the words, like you said, the lexicon of the day. He used species and he used races. He said we're the same species, but we're different races.
No, he didn't. Huh? No, he didn't, Chef. He said it was only. Yeah, he said it was only one race, dog.
So what's the savage races then?
So hold on. So the point I want to show you here is that Darwin didn't make that statement. He agreed to somebody else's statement. He didn't say that. He just said I agree.
But he agreed to it.
Right.
So is his. So that's his view.
Yeah, and then we only read one. Hold on. Then we only read one portion of the letter. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, so okay, he said that. So now what? But that what does that mean though? You can't take one letter. Listen, you can't take one letter in one statement, yo.
Yeah, but it shows his race. Look, it shows his racism. You have white people right now, right, who's humanitarian, but they could still hold racist views.
Of course.
Like we said, Lincoln abolished slavery in America, but he made racist statements. He didn't believe that the African was his equal, even though he was against the institution of slavery. But then we got to look at the time that they lived in too. I guarantee you, if Darwin lived right now, he would be a progressive. But back then, he was the most progressive dude of that day, but he still had racist views. Like, that's just...
No, we read a statement that he agreed with, yo. And I read this. I said that, don't watch this. We must add to this an apology for our ethnological, FAUX, funky past, all the actors in our story, Darwin included, held derogatory views, right, of other people to some extent and used terms to match.
That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying.
Right, but that's all, I read it. I said it already. So it don't move me when Haskell run up here and say that, dude, I agree that. I'm saying that I'm saying that the work he did actually overturned that thought.
Oh, cool. But we was talking about, I agree, but we was talking about him personally. We wasn't talking about his body of work and what it over. We agree with what he brought forth to the world. Like, it was revolutionary. We ain't taking none of that away from him. You see what I'm saying?
You know, I am.
You know what y'all are taking away from him?
I'm not taking nothing.
No, I am. Hold on. I am. I'm saying.
You know,
your natural selection is rubbish.
I know. I ain't gonna do that right now, Haskell. Listen, Haskell, can't do that. You know why we actually taking away from what that man did, yo? You know what y'all forgetting? Y'all sitting here with a 2020 mind. Well, you not Haskell. You somewhere in the fucking Stone Age with that shit. You know what I'm saying? We actually act like it was a group of Darwins running around. Like you actually act like they actually understood Homo sapiens sapiens back then. Dude, they thought people came from the Bible, man. Like we forgetting that the shit he was saying, this dude was raised and cultivated by a culture that thought they were better than everybody. Like who's denying that?
But that's a definition of racism.
Yeah, but that's exactly. I was just gonna say that.
Right? Okay, but you don't call the Egyptians racist when they go take a whole goddamn when they go to the Levant and build a temple of God daggone hardcore. And them Egyptians is fighting and trying to kill their ass and build their land. You don't call them racist. You don't call them racist when they show Haru as being a supreme race, and after that, everybody else follow that. You don't call them racist. It's a damn conversation, bro.
But that wasn't based on race, though. I don't know why you so hung up on the racist term. Like it's really not a big deal. I mean, if he was racist, hold on.
That it's unlikely that this man was the person y'all said he was.
All right, how do you define racism? How do you define a racist? What's your definition of racist or racism?
A person that would treat you differently, right, because of the color of your skin. The person that will not afford you opportunities. A person think they're better than you to the point where you can't get a job, you can't do nothing but be in servitude to them. That's a racist to me. Who hates you as a back in the 20th century.
I want to give you the classical definition is the ideology that a particular a race is superior to another race.
Of course.
And Darwin absolutely believed that the Anglo-Saxon or white race was the top race. He believed that.
Haskell, how?
What do you mean?
How?
What do you mean how?
How do you do that? Your work says no. Listen, how in your mind do you fight against everybody? Listen what I'm saying. How is it that in your mind did you fight against all the racist anthropology in your field? And you tell me you're wrong. There's only one race, the human race, and and those people are as intelligent as we are. Remember, his views was changing as he started staying with these indigenous groups. He realized that damn, they thinking this shit is on par. It's just that they don't know some things we know, but once we show them, they can do it as much as we can. He realized that we was the same thing. So how do you know that? How do you write a book that kills slavery, that kills all this shit about we less humans, and still be considered a racist? You can just say at times the nigga got out of order. He's a product of his environment. You can say a lot of things, but it's just hard for me. Maybe not for y'all, but it's hard for me to see that he was an outright racist.
If you go,
we're gonna break you, we're gonna eventually break you, bro. I want you to say
my brother tripping, bad tripping, like on some easy shit. Like you deal with high level shit so easy, bro. And I'm shocked to see you struggling with this.
No, yeah. If you go into university, yeah, and you look at the works and the research, and you write on Darwin, and you say that he's not a racist, you're going against the consensus.
You struggling with easy shit, like the same way we say that.
Hold on, wait. Everybody, let me tell you why I don't get it, bro. Because the only people that actually really say that are people that haven't read his work and religious people. So I'm just letting you know that. I just read chapters of what this man was saying. Y'all take a letter, one statement, and one fucking sentence, and that defines a whole person? Really? Like, I don't get that.
You struggling with this shit? Hold on, you struggling, and I love you, and I'm gonna fuck with you forever, bro. You struggling with this shit the same way that people struggle with the Bible. I'm done.
All right, so okay, I don't get it. I know you're getting slick with it, but I'm simply saying I'm not struggling with it.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm clear on my statement.
Okay, bro.
I don't judge a person off of one sentence, or because he say, "Yeah, I agree with that," and the shit actually happened. So maybe the fact that, first of all, none of y'all done went around the damn world and actually studied other groups of people. Let's get all that straight. At least that white boy did that. None of y'all were willing to give up your little life in America and go live with an indigenous tribe. Y'all wouldn't want to do it. Y'all talking malarkey right now. All right? So I'm just trying to make a point here that, dude, racist. I know what a damn racist is. Racist is somebody look at you, don't give you, and shoot the shit out you because you black and don't give you the same break.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's an extremist. That's a difference. Like, a person can hold racist views and still do great things. That does not take away
great things for the other race. Do great things.
Great things for the other race.
Let that finish.
Yes.
Let me get this straight. Hold on. So was the Quakers racist?
Yes.
Yeah, they help.
Yes. Wait. What?
Hold on. I'm just asking y'all.
Please let me get this. What was the question?
Why you want to get in? You know the question. Why the hell you don't get in and know the question? You just trying to get in.
I didn't hear you. What you say?
I just said, do y'all consider the Quakers racist?
The one that helped the slaves. Let's be specific. The ones that helped the slaves, bro. Go ahead.
Come in your house. I can lose my life and have you here. A child gonna die if they catch your black. Whatever, man.
Did my brother just ask a word the Quakers racist? Did you really just ask that, bro?
The ones that helped in the Underground Railroad that housed our system.
I thought you said Quakers.
Well, who the fuck was it? Was it the Quakers or the other? No, it's the Quakers, right?
Did you ask were the Quakers racist? Yes or no?
Yeah, it was the Quakers.
They racist now.
Bro,
okay, but not gonna do that shit.
My brother asked, was the Quakers racist? Oh my God. Okay.
Man, I'm talking about the ones that helped in the slave trade, bro. Like, come on, yo.
Are they racist
now? I don't know about
the question. Yes or no? Go ahead.
Yeah, answer the question.
Oh my God.
I just asked yes or no.
Bro, I'm at.
Just answer the question, yo.
Yes or no, bro. Yes or no.
My nigga asked, was the Quakers racist? I'm telling you as your brother, I know you didn't ask, was the Quakers.
Just answer the question, bro. I say no. The one that helped the slave wasn't racist.
Hell fucking yeah, the Quakers was racist.
The one that helped the slaves?
Hey, listen, hold on. We ain't gonna be doing all that cussing, yo, because then I start getting hyped up. The shit gonna be real bad, yo.
Did
the Quakers that helped the slaves doing the Underground Passage of the Railroad, were they racist, bro? You saying yeah?
We talking about two different sets of Quakers. We talking about the Quakers that you talking about, and I'm talking about the Quakers. Hold on, let me finish. We talking about.
Let me finish because we was very specific in the Quakers we was talking about. We wasn't talking about the ones now. We were talking about the ones that helped in the transition.
We're not talking about the ones now. I'm talking about the Quakers that set up the schools to teach the Christian Bible. Them the ones I'm talking about.
Come on, man. Come on. We gotta follow where we at.
Brothers got some misinformation on who Quakers are. So you gotta
the argument was, but I don't know if you listen. The argument was, are you gonna be a racist and do good things for another race?
Yes, you can. You can possibly because it.
Give me an example.
Then do it, man. Hold on. Then do it, man.
Let me give an example. Hey,
yo, do it, man. Would you marry a white woman? Yes or no?
Me?
Yes.
Never. In a million years, never.
Why not?
Because I want my lineage to remain African. But but I know. Wait. I don't care. I don't even care about all of that. But I know racist people that are married to people of like I've seen white people that are racist that are married to black people.
The question is, give me an example of a racist that do good things for black people, bro, and still be a racist, bro.
Let me get you.
Well, the problem with your question is that when you use the word good,
all right, let's get off
subjective.
Good,
no, listen. Wait. No, listen. It depends on the person's perspective. For example, some of the people that were against slavery were racist. some of the people that were for the end of abolishment of slavery, the reason why they wanted to abolish slavery is because some of the Quakers, particularly, is because they were afraid about the growing black population, and what they wanted to do is abolish slavery and get the black people to go to Africa. So it depends on the intention. You don't know. So if you're looking at someone in the past and saying if they're racist or not, it's like you really don't know people's individual personal views and all that, but you can see through the group and the actions that they take.
At the same time, you
Okay,
got to
first y'all knew they was racist. Now nobody knows.
No, an individual person. If you're asking about an individual person that's housing a black person to help them run away from slavery hundreds of years ago, how am I supposed to answer that?
Okay, so basically you're saying that all white people are racist based off the color of their skin, basically, right?
No.
Who said that? Who said that?
I'm asking you. So are all white people?
I don't even subscribe to the theory of racism. But if you go by the definition of racism,
really? Okay, you know what?
No, listen. Let me talk. Let me listen. Listen.
The theory of
listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. If you go by the definition of racism, these people are racist.
All right. No, I'm saying is everybody that's white racist. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yo. Simple question.
Hey, I'm just trying to figure out.
First of all, I don't know.
You can look at a person, they white, they racist.
Well, give them your
opinion.
Give them your opinion.
I think we're doing blanket racism. I think it's degrees to it. You feel me? A person don't have to be as racist as the Ku Klux Klan to be a racist. A person, you feel me? Like every Muslim is not a terrorist. You know what I mean? It's levels to the shit. A person can have bigoted views and still be a humanitarian. Like I could want to feed
if you got bigoted views, you're a racist.
But I can still think less of Chinese people. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to see them starving. I'm against world hunger. You dig what I'm saying? Okay. But I look down on Chinese people. Like, so just because I feed a fucking Chinese person don't mean I don't hold bigoted views about them as a, as a people. Like, how is that like issue? Like, we see this with white people. Like, they can come into the hood and help black people. Like, they could want to teach black children, come out of college and want to teach black children, but they have a derogatory view of that group as a whole. Like, but they think they doing a good thing, and they are doing a good thing trying to educate those kids, but they still hold a derogatory view of them. You see what? Like,
Let me help y'all out. It's called prejudice, yo.
Exactly.
Okay, and all people have prejudices, yo. It's a distinct difference between being prejudiced, right? Like you're prejudiced against marrying white women, dog. Like you just don't do it.
If you're prejudiced against a particular race of people, then that is racism.
Hold on, let me ask Uncle a question, please. Was Charles Darwin prejudiced?
Yep, he had prejudice. I know he did.
Was he prejudiced against a particular group, race of people?
Nah.
Savages.
Wow.
You gonna come out there and whoop your ass.
Against savages, bro. He had his prejudice against savages. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He really did. He was definitely prejudiced against the savage races.
And that's it. Let me the final answer. That's it. And that's it.
Caucasians were savages.
Hey, Aunt, shake your head.
Shepard, let me ask you this. If you think Darwin would have came across a European running around with no clothes on, with a bone in his nose, he would have been like, nah, you cool. Or he would have been like, that European's a damn savage.
That's what he did. He said it too. See, we don't want to talk about that with Charles
Darwin.
Oh my God.
He wouldn't have said that European was a part of a savage race.
No, he said they said Europeans come from a savage race, bro.
Come from
a savage race. Charles Darwin said that.
Who was the savage race that they came from?
A primal race of people. Nope, he was saying he said all civilizations have come. He was basically using the word primitive. The word savage for primitive, less technologically sound. That's what he's saying. That's what it was. You can't make it something that he wasn't saying. You got to say what he said.
So if he's talking about advancement, why did he reference the gorilla? and the Negro in Australia being closer to the gorilla.
Facts.
You gotta
No. He definitely did. Like we read it.
You gotta understand,
y'all misread.
And you gotta understand that Darwin is not the father of evolution, bro. He's a father of natural selection. So certain things with evolution he didn't get right. Like he didn't know what we know about evolution now, bro.
He ain't never said we came from damn gorillas, yo. We got statements that he said that. No, he never said that. We can absolutely read. He never said that.
I just read it. I just read.
He said gorillas and chimpanzees are our closest relatives. That is a fact. He stated
yes.
a fact.
No, he said Negroes and Australians are closer to gorillas than the
he said our ancestors, all of us. Period. All right, man. You know what?
Oh my! I just read it.
Man, I'm trying to tell you what he read. You can read the statement and John. It's stolen. I don't got the book today going. Man, God, civilization. I can read this straight to you. What he said. Do I have to do that?
I mean, it's cool. Like you said, he was prejudiced. You won't go as far as to say he was racist,
right?
But you would say that he was prejudiced.
Yes.
I'm cool with that because I know that if you prejudge a particular race, that makes you a racist. Like that, like you hold a particular view of a race.
If you prejudge, it's prejudice. If you prejudge, that's prejudice.
Yeah, but if you just prejudge a particular race, you don't think that that's racist?
Hey, we're gonna have a part two, bro. We're gonna have a part two, bro.
Y'all don't think that prejudice is in racism?
Every racist is prejudice. Every racist is prejudice. Not every prejudiced person is racist.
That's why I asked the brother both questions. That's why my last question to him was, do you think that he's prejudiced? And he said, yeah.
Every racist person is prejudiced, but not every prejudiced person is a racist.
Yeah. Hold on, but those two words overlap each other. Yeah, y'all act like that prejudice is definitive, like it has a definitive definition.
It does.
Racism and prejudice overlap each other. Now y'all telling me y'all have a lock on the word prejudice and racist.
Can we look it up?
Look it up.
Let me read this.
Prejudice and racist is interchangeable. Like y'all know that.
No, it's not.
Nah, because
so let me read this. We're having a conversation. We from the same place. If when you having a conversation, we can use racist and prejudice interchangeably.
And we use it wrong though.
Yeah, that's
we be wrong as a motherfucker, yo. Just like people use the word the ego. They be wrong as shit.
Can I read racism definition? Yeah. I can read another one.
Read it.
And the first word is prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism directed against a person or people on the basis of their membership of a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalized.
I remember that. I just explained to you that every racist person is prejudiced. And every prejudiced person is not a racist.
Okay, hey,
just like every rectangle is a square, but not every square is a damn rectangle.
Hey, of the two, racist and prejudice, which of the two was Charles Darwin?
He was both to me.
I'm asking Killer. Go ahead.
I think he had prejudices, and I think he used words that were absolutely that we would consider just out of order. And I read that. I repeated that.
Okay, so I'm sorry. The question was clear. Of the two, was he racist and prejudice, or both?
I think he had prejudices. I think he had prejudices, right? I think he used derogatory terms at times, right? And this was the environment he was raised in. So I cannot remove that man from the time he was raised in.
So was he a bigot?
Come on, wait a minute, bro. You expecting that man to be perfect? Like that's crazy to me, yo. Like you just refuse to see what he actually did. So at the end of the day, man, like, look, was the dude perfect? No. Did he say derogatory shit? Yeah, y'all just read it. But then nobody wants to talk about how he literally changed the whole world and thinking about how black people. Nobody want to say that though.
He never denied that.
He didn't. He didn't.
All right, let me hear y'all say it. Okay.
So did Christianity. So did Christianity.
Nah,
Christianity changed the whole world too, right?
No.
Ask on the back, Chad. Ask on the back. You should let him in.
Go ahead. I'm out.
I want to hear you say it. Let me hear you say it. That Charles Darwin changed the way the world looked at black people. Let me hear y'all say that.
No.
He definitely did.
Thank you. The next person. Will you ask?
No.
Okay, no. How about you, Trey?
Yeah, I agree.
For Trey, inadvertently, yes.
Inadvertently? See, there you go. See?
There you go. You damn right. You know who you talking to.
I can see points, yo. Come on, yo. I can see some points. We said a lot. We said some things.
All right, so we made some headway. At least we came to a conclusion.
But I was always understanding though. But I'm also giving leeway for the fact that that's the only thing that nigga knew. Like that's crazy. And then
I said that the other day
and he is basically the founder and foundation of eugenics.
Now you made that. Stop that, man. We don't play on with you with that. Come on, yo.
You know,
Charles Darwin died in what year? What year did Charles Darwin die?
People misuse science. People misuse what they think is science.
Yeah, they added pseudoscience on that, yo. They ain't Darwin.
He's also the origin. He's also the origin of intelligent design. Then, in that case, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yo. Come on, yo.
He died in 1882. Yeah.
Galton is responsible for eugenics. Galton misread Darwin's work, and it don't make me read the thing when Darwin said, "I don't agree with you. I don't agree with your work." Do I have to read that? No, I'm reading. Let me read it.
CK, what's up?
Peace.
Yeah, we having fun tonight, CK. We fighting.
Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. We fighting.
Yeah, man, y'all fighting to death. Jesus.
It's good fight for the liberation of the
It's been fun, though. It's been fun.
It's good work.
You know the flowers have lost y'all damn minds. I don't know.
I'm not a mother flower today, CK.
Y'all got going.
Let's answer them 3 questions. Let's answer them 3 questions about Charles Darwin. Racist, bigoted, or what was the third one?
He was a racist, he was a bigoted, and he was a genius.
And prejudice. and prejudice. Was he racist, bigoted, and prejudiced? Them the 3 questions.
He was racist, prejudiced, and the nigga was a genius. You feel me?
And was he a bigot?
Yeah, definitely.
No.
So what's our, if we all know things, what's the problem?
I don't know. We take the credit away from him.
Hold on. So a bunch of bigots.
Why? My question is why?
And put their life on the line. Let me get it straight though. A bunch of bigots put their life on the line with their whole family to free black people and say, yo, slavery is crazy. We come from one bloodline. You know what I'm saying? We all one. That's the biggest. Well, you know what, yo? We could take them biggest and cook them.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go. Let me read from the book entitled. The book is entitled. I'm gonna mess up the name. Dang, the book is entitled. Yeah. Slavery. It says slavery. Who was skeptical of the idea of blacks being inferior to whites? It say Africans were specifically selected and sold because of their talent and genius. Africans from Sierra Leone were brought to the Carolinas because white American farmers did not understand how to grow rice. Africans were commonly used as navigators on ships because many white Americans and European sea captains did not know how to use the night sky as navigating systems. Goes on to say, Africans were selected as slaves because of their intelligence. Not because of it. And slavery would not have been possible for Europeans if they had not been able to take advantage of pre-existing conflicts between Africans and nations which had sophisticated arms at their disposal that were capable of capturing prisoners of war. It says, as one may figure out, there were many people such as the naturalist Charles Darwin and mathematician Isaiah Wright. Both were outspoken abolitionists that were able to figure out that the idea of blacks being inferior to whites just didn't make sense. Charles Darwin's contribution to the abolitionary movement did not stop white supremacists from twisting Darwin's theories into white supremacist ideology. But order for pre-slavery politicians like John C. Calhoun and Thomas Jefferson to argue that slavery was common good, they needed experts to prove that blacks were intellectually inferior to whites. This allowed them to silence some of slavery's critics so that slavery could continue. Junk science is rhetoric that is passed off as facilitating, but is based on unreliable or fabricated scientific explanations. It's a big motive of junk science is politics. Right? It says recent examples of the uses of pseudoscience for political purposes is the book The Bell Curve by the late psychologist Richard Henstein and well-known, ultra-conservative Charles Merrill, which was written from an obvious bias that was intended to prove that marginalized groups whom were historically targets of oppression were suffering social ills because of their lack of intelligence. And the book makes several attempts to argue for intellectual inferiority of blacks.
Can I get the book and the page? Book and the page, please. Book and the page, please.
Man, you know I'm about to put you out, yo. You're not gonna be like me on this motherfucker. Cut me off. Let me finish. The arguments, I'm gonna give it to you. The arguments of the book have been repeatedly debunked by mathematicians, psychologists, right, and psychiatrists at large. No matter how long, watch this, no matter how long a log floats in the water, it will never become a crocodile. Barbarian proverb, Bambarian proverb. One falsehood can spoil 1,000 truths. Ashanti proverb. So there you go. So
right.
You need experts. My point is, you need experts to support that, y'all.
All right, brother. I'm trying to get the book. I'm trying to get the book. Let me get the book name. You threatened to kick me out because I want the book name.
Without Charles Darwin, you wouldn't have an expert on your side. Without the bigot Charles Darwin, your ass was grass.
Bro, the name of the book, please. I want the name of the book so I can go buy it. What's the name of the book, please, sir?
Name of the book is written by a Nigerian. The book is NYANSAPO. Nasapio, scientific problem solving and decision making for everyone. Again, the word is spelled NYANSAPO. Scientific problem solving and decision making for everyone.
Thank you.
Page 36. Hold up, my fault. 35 and 36.
That's all I was asking. You threatened to kick me out because I asked for the page, bro. Damn.
You asked me the page while I'm fucking reading. I'm over here struggling.
My bad. Damn.
Being like me, that's something I do. I ain't gonna let you do me the way I be doing at times. Hell no.
My bad. I thought you was done. You was going for a long time.
Huh?
Haskell said let him back in.
I can't. I don't know why I'm doing dumbass stream, y'all. They killed you. You only lit them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're done, Haskell. You came out too many times. I don't know why you
Yo, Unc, yeah? Yo, Unc.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to marry a white woman, that means you're racist.
They would say it. I don't think so. I think you just, if you talking about to preserve your bloodline and shit, that's retarded. They don't even make no damn sense. They don't even make no sense. Like, that's dumb. That's not only racist, that's just dumb. I'm saying I don't marry white women because I love black women, and I understand that black women come in all complexions, and I love my mother. You know what I'm saying? Meaning,
So it's dumb. It's dumb to preserve your bloodline. Explain that.
Yeah, I don't consider that racist though, because look, I'm not like some people don't want their child to marry somebody another race.
It's really not about. It's really not about.
Yeah, it is.
We're too low. We got to level up on that. This is about royal bloodlines who chose and who decided that in order to maintain the royal bloodlines, regardless of whether we're talking about Egypt or any of the other things, the royal bloodlines chose to. They thought and believed that you needed to marry within, and that caused a whole lot of.
That was wrong. Oh, what you going to say? Marry within? You about to mess up.
Marry within family, with the exception of brother and sister, mother and daughter, and father and that shit.
Who was doing that?
Huh?
Who was doing that?
All throughout society. And if you want to go to ancient Egypt, that it goes there as well.
No, you wrong.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong when it comes down to inbreeding, regardless of regardless.
Hey, I bet y'all don't realize. Okay, slickers. I bet y'all. Who was the person that realized inbreeding would actually cause genetic deficiencies? Who's the first?
The fact of the matter is that you are acknowledging that inbreeding causes deficiencies.
I know. I'm asking you, who came up with that idea, though? Who realized it?
I'm not sure who came up with that.
Brother, I can tell you straight up, it was not Charles Darwin.
Man, you're crazy. I'm gonna tell you, it was Charles Darwin.
It was discovered way before the 1800s in Charles Darwin.
Yeah, I definitely believe that it was discovered.
Man, they didn't write it down.
Way before the 1800s.
Go get it, bro. Go get the just go get the source, bro. Just get the source so we can read it, bro. Like,
let's get it. Continue with the conversation. I'll get the source. That was
the race, though. Like, I know people who may want to, even white people that's Jewish, they may want their child to marry somebody that's Jewish, right? That's their preference, and but they won't then disown their daughter if they don't. See what I'm saying? Now that's racist. If your view is to the point to where now, if you marry somebody, I'm finna disown you, you can't come. That's racist. But you can have a preference. You can, you know what I'm saying? That's human nature.
Right.
To my brother, that came way before Charles. The discovery of the negative effects of that came way before 1800. And we both know this, but I'll get to
that. You know, I'm saying the reasons why, though, the explanation of it comes from Charles Darwin.
Me and you gonna get the diseases, the birth defects, and everything, bro. You know how we do. We gonna get everything then when it comes to that, and it's way before 1800.
Bro, get the article or the person that did it so we can review it. That's what I'm saying. Like, can you get that?
Hold on.
No, down. Off. My bad.
Like, I didn't realize Charles Darwin even was on that right there. That's new to me. So I want to see the whole thing. Like, put that in my tool belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because what he did, he realized that his daughter was always very sickly, right? As a matter of fact, his daughter died. And then he realized through the study of plants how if he bred the same plants from the same immediate family, right, that they would have defects. And he realized, damn. Yep, that's Darwin came up with that, yo. He also had a theory of dealing with, I think he explained what the coral reefs was. That's Charles Darwin.
I probably learned a lot with them plants. You know, I look at Darwin like that dude he was dealing with plants. That man had like animal carcasses around. Like, that dude was putting in some work, man. When you look at what he was doing, I was like, gee.
He was using a lot of other people's work also.
But he had to keep a lot of what he was doing secret, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they'd have found out, like, he would have never even got to release that book. You know what I'm saying? Like, he kept a lot of his things hidden. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because there was other people writing the same shit that he was writing at the time. It just didn't pop out of the sky.
Yeah. Of course.
Like, come on now. Like, we
was talking about that before. Like I forgot, I can't remember the dude's name now. It's the people that was writing on that level before him. We talked about that one time on the show.
Yeah, he snuck his book out before one of his colleagues. You feel me? So
yeah, what's his name? What David don't know his name. Heck, no, it was
Woodford or something. Wilford. What was it?
I can't think. Yo.
So it was just a matter of who finished their work first and got to the printing press first. That's
Yeah, remember Darwin Ben had the book. He just didn't want to publish it, yo, because he didn't want to hurt his wife. Remember that? He Ben had the book.
She was a Christian.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Struggling with his Christianity, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
So I think we came. I know Haskell brought some information. Everybody, I think, brought the information. And what I would say is, man, I appreciate the conversation, discourse, and see, this is the type of conversation you're supposed to have, yo. How many black people at 1:30 in the morning debating over evolution and debating over whether Charles? That's a good conversation for people to hear, right, and be aware of, man. I appreciate people like Sister Kyle for coming in the building, man. I appreciate that, man. MBK all day, every day. Zen Garden, I see you in here. D. Irvin, what's up with you, man? All right, let me finish. Let's see. All things popping TV. Appreciate that, man. D. Irvin. Who else we got? What's this? I can't even read that. Brandon, Metro, Consumer. Customer. Gullah, you know what I'm saying? Black Line Supreme, man. All y'all, man. I appreciate that, man. Yo, make sure y'all go over the MBK channel, man. Make sure y'all support them, man. That thing me and Truth did, that's between me and him, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna never disrespect the brands, man. I appreciate the people over there and the work they doing. Shout out to the Pseudo Killers, man. All right. I fucks with them. Mafia Clan, man, once again, man. Yo, they booked up. Y'all gotta respect that, man. Pass our research team, man. Yo, they booked up. Plain and simple. They booked up, man. All right. This is it, man. Y'all see what it is right here, man. Appreciate that, man. Make sure y'all go to Abjuware. Also hit that daggone Cash App, man. Let me put that in there. Damn. I ain't put that in there, man. Support that Cash App. Uncle Cat. Cash App. Hit that up. All right. Anyway, man, appreciate everybody on the panel, man. It was a good discourse. We got 6 dislikes. That's cool. 73 likes. That's fine. All right. And we're just going to keep rocking over here, yo. All right. Pseudo Killers on deck tomorrow, 9:30, 10, somewhere in that range, man. We ain't quite figured out what we're going to talk about, but we're going to do it. Then we had them interviews on Sunday, man. Pop up on y'all. All right. Going to have brother Tariq, okay, from Nagas Footwear. All right, gonna go ahead and finish off Chief X and all that nonsense he was talking about. Yep, I'm gonna stay on it all day long, all day. I'm gonna stay on it because I ain't got no shoes, I can't get no shoes. We're gonna bring the brother that mentored me in my shoe company. All right, the one that started all. All right, with those Converse type joints, the first joints that came out. We're gonna bring him on. We're gonna talk a little bit about shoes. All right, and black business. All right, we're gonna do that. All right, so I've been holding back on that interview for a while, right? But I'm just let y'all know, man. Then next week we're gonna have brother Kazende from Black Dot Bookstore Cultural Center. We're gonna see what he got to say about the subject matter, about where I'm fitting and all that. So you know what I'm saying? We're gonna bring sources and references to this thing we're doing right here, right? We appreciate that, man. Appreciate everybody coming through. We didn't probably went way too long, man. Anybody want some closing remarks, man? Where you at, Sheffield? That's in the close out with, bro.
No, it was a good conversation. I'm glad we got some type of clarification because it seemed like on Garfield's show, we didn't get nothing. We didn't nail it down the way we nailed it down tonight. You feel me?
Right.
Yeah,
So
it's shit.
Yeah. Important. Yeah. Important, man. Reem, where you at, Remus?
Yeah, Charles Darwin was a complete pseudo. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's all good, man. All right, all good. Brother Trey, appreciate you coming through.
A beautiful show, man. Edification coming all across the board. You know, the list that you ran off, bro, I'm gonna be rocking with you. I got a whole lot of things. You know, you do some of my angles I come with. When we come to that royal incest and inbreeding, I'm gonna make sure I'm ready for that. Sources.
Yeah, I'm beat you up on that.
No, you're not. No, not on that. I'm gonna beat you up. But anyway, bro. But anyway, a beautiful show. Great to be on with you, man. I love fucking with you in the mornings. If we're still doing the morning coffee thing, man, keep doing your thing. The real information is coming out across the board. No pseudo. Just beautiful shit. Just really, really going into historicity and everything, bro. So I love what you're doing, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, Haskell, you can't even get in here, Haskell. You can't get in here, man. All right, man. It's all good, man. So look, man. Oh, where you at? CK the poet. I know you playing that game, goddamn.
What, I'm allowed to flip and speak now?
Flipping.
You've been allowed to speak. You usually just
No, the hell I was not, because as soon as I started speaking, everybody had some shit to say after they've been running their mouths for like 3 hours.
Because you called us mother flowers.
I ain't the mother flower.
Where your ass been hiding at? We miss you on the Discord server, yo.
I've been getting some business together. You know, business opened back up, so you know I've been busy trying to get different cleaning services that deal with the COVID cleaning, and it's been hectic. But I'm right. Back up.
Yeah, I feel you.
That's right.
But anyways, I think that we can all agree, and if we haven't, at some point in time, people gonna have to concede that we all agree that we like Charles Darwin. We like what he kind of started off with the evolutionary thing. Then everybody other people pushed it further, and you know, you see what we got today with all these different fossils and whatnot, and different hominid species. But this dude made some very interesting remarks in his literary work.
Yes.
That if it's okay, I think that we can all agree that we probably cannot call him racist per se, but I think that we all should agree that he held some white supremacist views, which was very common at that time. Yes, you can do some very important things and still hold some very questionable views. Yes, you can help some Black people get across the Macy-Dixon line, but still not think that they're your mother flipping equal. And that's okay. Nobody's saying that we need to stop reading Darwin work or thinking that he's a bad person or whatever. But it wouldn't shock, and it shouldn't shock anybody on this panel or in the chat that he held some pretty racist and white supremacist views. All the mother flowers did back then. All them academic people that was writing books and stuff like that, they was all doing it. Anybody that was not white, or as Charles Darwin put it, Anglo-Saxon, they was lesser than. That is a supremacist view, and it all goes in this big ass prejudice, bias circle of racism.
Yeah, she just said he was a bigot.
I really wouldn't say that he was a bigot. I think he just held a lot of white supremacist views that people held at that time. So I'm willing to concede and not necessarily call him racist, but I will say that he did hold some white supremacy.
All right, hey.
I'll let that go. I'll let the racist go. I'll let it go.
We're gonna check it out. Y'all remember the name of the letter? Put it in the chat room, Haskell.
I found it too. Darwin corresponded to Mr. Kingsley. Like I'm gonna put it in the back. That's in the University of Cambridge. I'm gonna put it in the back, Jack. It's a bunch of them.
You'll pick one statement out that motherfucker. Ha ha! All right, let me see. Like up the video. Ha ha! Where the thing?
Put it in the back chat real quick.
Where the hell is the back chat at? Okay, comment.
Little private chat.
Oh,
you see, it got all the letters. They got all the letters in there for all the years.
That's from Facebook?
No, the one I just put here right now, the Darwin Project, it got all the letters he wrote, like, and it corresponded to it.
You forget the thousands of letters when you say, yo, free Black people. I think they're just saying the hell with all that, huh?
That one right there got all the letters, though. Everyone he wrote in the correspondence.
And what time period was it?
He got shoot from it started from 1833 and go all the way up to like 1870.
That letter.
Oh, the letter 1862, Darwin and Kingsley, February 6, 1862.
I'm just glad this shit came out. I'm gonna be on that motherfucking ass.
Right here, Darwin's correspondence. It say letter selected readings, race, civilization, and progress. Darwin's first reflection on human progress. Were prompted by his experience in enslaved. And okay, where is it where Haskell was reading that?
You scroll down. You see the letters? You scroll down.
Oh, letters. Okay.
Yeah, go all the way down to you'll see. Go to 1862. You'll see it. Letter 34, 39. It's about almost all the way to the bottom, like fourth one from the bottom, third one from the bottom.
34, 39.
Yeah, then you click on it, give you the whole letter, and it give you what he wrote in response. You feel me?
Darwinism. Yeah, we're gonna fuck that up. Darwinism.
So, with all of that being said, Brother Unc, would you agree that it is highly possible that Darwin was racist, but maybe his worldview might have changed after he had encountered other cultures and lived among them for a period of time?
Yeah.
Hey, I got one for you, just for clarity. Was Darwin creationist with backing his theory, said that it came from God, or was it purely scientific?
He was purely scientific. He wrestled with his religion, yo. Some
So,
people try
a lot of people back then did.
What you just said is you're in
They were
between.
burning mother flowers at the stake back then, son.
So which is it, Unc? Which is it, Unc? I'm being serious. Which is it?
He wasn't a creationist, bro. That's the crazy question. He wasn't no damn creationist.
I don't even think that was a concept back then.
Right. Yeah.
In 1809, it absolutely was. Go ahead, though.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said I didn't think it was.
Creationism was absolutely a concept. But go ahead, Unc.
Yeah, he was an evolutionist, yo. Plain and simple.
Okay, we just want clarity. Okay.
Because he said stuff like it wasn't no agency in it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, like nothing did that. So I mean,
but it's good that you did admit that he struggled between creationism and things based Abrahamic. It's cool.
Let me read this letter, Haskell. Haskell went right. Haskell ain't even read the letter, yo. He just went to the part that was highlighted. Funny dude. Funny dude. They talk about pigeons. Read that. Yeah, that's gonna be my morning read, Haskell. I'll let you know that, bro. My morning read to that. Anything else you want to say, sis? Because these mother flowers ain't with you rocking.
No, I think I said exactly what I needed to say.
Yep.
But
yeah, I like that.
If y'all are interested, some of the books that Unc did present tonight, they are in the New Black Knowledge Discord server. You know, by all means, come through. No pseudos allowed. You know, steady dropping books in there. Steady having good conversations up in there. True Story said he's gonna be starting the class real soon. So yeah, come get you some free books.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, there we go, family, man. We had a nice crowd tonight. We're gonna be here every Sunday. I mean, every Friday, man. I expected that to pile up, man.
All day, bro. It's much better than me arguing with ISUPK about fucking UFOs last night.
Oh,
did that?
Yeah, you wasted oxygen.
I sure did. I can't get that back either.
Yeah, you can't get that back. Yeah, I can't.